ready as she goes. Actually, no, not yet. Never mind. I don't need this yet. Gotta flatten out over time. Leave that the way it was. Level that all back out.
The music's way louder than your mic is.
Is it really?
Yeah, about double.
That's so funny.
No. Disagree.
Okay, it's turned right down now.
Cool.
Much to my disappointment, because I can't hear it then. In that case, we should also do this sound check. Totally forgot that I had it on my soundboard loaded. What was I here?
There's Justin.
Hey guys.
There he is. So that's doing its thing.
Jin, you have resting concentration face.
Oh, me? I'm just trying. My Zoom is being weird right now, so I'm just trying to figure it out.
I know. It's like totally messed up this week.
Yeah, like I can see all your faces, but then I can't see the battle. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get everything all together.
We got a viewer asking about our characters. If you guys want to give a brief on your characters, and I don't think I've ever actually heard you guys really describe yourselves. You care to go first?
Cross. I'm a Goliath barbarian. I was a war veteran, and happened to come across this band of hunters, and there's not much backstory for him yet. I'm still working on that.
That's fine.
That's pretty much my character. He loves his battle axe, and he loves to see the color red.
We're playing 5th edition.
All right, I guess I'll go next because I'm underneath you. So, my name is Resvin, and I'm a gnome artificer / tinkerer, and I'm all about the loot and shiny things and things that are kind of new, and I don't have much of a moral compass.
All right, on. And that's Resvin. Doc? Oh, no, sorry. Shit. Oh my god, I'm having a moment here. Tomas. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tomas Eberhardt. I'm playing a human bard. He was a former adventurer. Then he retired from the game because he wanted to raise a family, and something in his past caught up to him, and now he had to go back into the game to fix a problem that was caused from his history, and that's why he's with the Hunters organization. He's hoping that he can find information while being a part of this group, and hopefully gain some allies to help him in his quest.
And finally, Aldous.
So I'm Aldous. I am an high elf wizard. Very pretty young for a wizard, probably around like 70 years or so. Just kind of trying to prove himself. That's kind of why he's with the group. Not sure of himself. Yeah, that's pretty much all this.
Nice, simple stories are usually the best stories. They leave a lot to develop.
Doc, you go next.
Yeah. So I'm Doc Lucian. So I'm playing a warding dwarf. I'm sorry.
I gotta change this to gallery view. I didn't even see you there. Totally forgot about you. You know, one
That's
section,
all right.
that's it. It's a hard cutout.
So I'm a warding dwarf, fairly young. I lived for a while on the streets. Had a bit of a rough go of it. Got a little help along the way, and kind of fell into my profession as a thief and rogue. I fell in with the group of hunters mainly just for fun, to keep myself busy and keep myself from going back to the streets. I think I fall more on the resident side of the compass in terms of I really don't care one way or the other as long as it doesn't put me at risk and get me into trouble. That tends to be the name of the game. Is I'm not outwardly looking to rob people all the time, but I do like to be able to pay for things, and I don't like really having to work. So that's Doc.
Nice and simple. This should actually be like that. Ish. No, you just take that. I gotta do that. Alright. And who would care to regale us with the Titan? You can go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. So, last time on Hunters.
Da-da-da.
The party traveled to Dublic to collect Vantir's reward for killing Laramis. Doc had another engagement to attend to and said that he would meet them in Erebor as soon as possible. Having braved a downpour of rain, half the party met with Valantir to get their coin. Resvin forgot his share in lieu of gunpowder. The party decided to stay in town for the night in order to resupply and hope for better weather conditions. Tomas read the piece of paper he found in Laramis' home and discovered that the stolen platinum was scheduled to be picked up the next day in Erebor. With this new information, the group rested early in order to make their way out of town as soon as possible. The hunters rode out on their horses, picking up their orders from the weaponsmith and tailor towards Evening Star. The group's horses were getting worn out from travel, so they decided to swap them with a local stableman, an elf named Elmwood. He told the party that the road towards Erebor was infested with spirits and cautioned them in their further travel. The parties resumed their travels, taking precautions against the spirits. Near the end of the journey, the group encountered two bears which frightened their horses. A fight ensued, but our heroes made quick work of their foe. The party resumed travel and arrived on the outskirts of Erebor as night fell.
Also,
That's
nice
where we
and
are.
simple. You guys did also encounter that spirit along the way.
Yeah,
Sorry, did you mention that? Did I miss that?
yeah. We saw it, but we didn't like really talk to it. We just like made sure
You
we
circumvented it.
circumvented
Yeah,
it.
you guys took the wide berth around it and said, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah,
Which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
not our problem.
Half the problem I'm having here is I wanted to pick some different music and
So did you hear about all the DMCA stuff that happened this week? Speaking of music?
No, what do you mean?
Okay, so a bunch of the music consortium started hammering all the Twitch users with DMCA takedowns,
Really?
which mean yes, and it's not stuff that you're doing now. They're finding VODs from like 5 years ago.
Ha!
And if you played music or had it going in the background or had it in a game, they still are taking it down and they're still hammering, and it's a strike against you. 3 strikes and you're off Twitch.
Crazy. Well, just so
Strike
everyone
one?
knows, I'm playing Red Dead Redemption music from Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. So here's hoping we don't get taken down. In the meantime, it really suits. So.
No, I'm just thinking, like, in the weeks going forward or whatever.
Well, that's fair. To be quite honest, if I did get taken down, it'd be a good excuse to rebrand. So that my name wasn't just Dungeon Master CA. But that's looking on the bright side of things. Right. So, as we said, Doc takes off, heading southeast and following a different route, arriving in upon the township of Arabelle. A little while before you guys arrive. As the camera pans against the rainy, desolate roadway behind you and trucks over your shoulder to show you cantering along on the back of the wagon, the driver lazily rocking back and forth as the cart slowly drags through the mud of the roadway towards the walled city ahead. All around you, the drab stretches of land, farm dwellings, and now the city's walls in either direction sprawl out against the gray as silhouettes of gray. Sheets of water pouring down in the distance, while only a bit of a drizzle where you are, provides little respite, although the city's walls, as they pass by, seem to provide a bit of warmth against the biting winds that kick up every so often. As the cart comes to a solid halt, rocking its last in its position, slowly sinking down into the mud, the rain patters down all around. Apologies. Sound test. As a right. Where did that go? There it is. How loud is that?
That's good.
All right. So, that said, I should probably raise up my my microphone here so that people can hear me more audibly. So, as the rain patters down, the mud slowly sucking upon the wheels of the wagon, pulling it down into the muck. The horse chuffs as the driver looks over his shoulder towards you, Doc, and says, "We've arrived, sir. Hui, it's chilly. If you're looking for a tavern, there's the Dancing Dragon just down the way. It's a nice place. There's a few various rooming establishments along the main drag." He gives another shiver and tightens his cloak around himself as his horse chuffs, again stamping its protest against the rain. Are you by chance a religious man? Do you know Arabelle well? You look around yourself, Doc, and see despite the rain, there's still some people milling back and forth along the streets, pulling carts, carrying equipment of the mining sort. The whole of the town is made up of thickly crowded buildings, stacked against each other in rows, leading up and down the city streets of dirt and cobble. A lot of the denizens that you see milling about in the rain obviously are not well dressed, but some of them do have the luxury of a covering. With that, the driver continues to stare at you as he awaits your response.
Which way to the Dancing Dragon?
Just up ahead, sir. He points
you for
ahead,
that.
and you can see the building that he's describing, or that he's pointing towards, nestled against so many others, and a little bit of smolder coming from the chimney, and in fact, heat waves even in the cold coming from the building itself. He gives a nod as you say what you say, and you hop off the wagon.
Yeah, and I'm gonna head for the inn to wait for everybody.
Okay. You land down on the ground. No, that was the wrong one. In the mud. Yeah. And quickly rush across the roadway, making your way towards the Dancing Dragon. The camera fades against, crossfading to inside as you arrive inwards. The place is warm for the hearth and smells of fine ales.
Is there a table open?
As you look around, you surely do see a few tables open, and you notice that there's a balcony up above that has no stairs leading to it that you can see in the main area. The bar situated to the left is manned by a portly dwarf, you think, although he's somewhat tall if he is a dwarf. The whole of the place seems thickly adorned with people who've seen the road recently and for long periods of time.
I'm gonna try and find a table where I can keep an eye on the room, but mostly keep an eye on the door, see when everyone shows up.
A few eyes follow you as you cross the space and situate yourself down, the sound of the rain fading in the distance behind you. The doorway every so often opens and closes as individuals walk in and out, a few of them armed, all of them with peace bands around their hilt. The wench? Do we have a wench here? Yeah, no, a young lad comes rushing over towards your table, and he's carrying a tray of various clayware that other people have used, and asks what you'd like. He's clearly in a bit of a rush.
Ale, if you got one.
He gives a nod, disappearing, arriving some while later with an ale. It shows you in the tavern, surrounded by all the other tables, some of which are populated. Nobody really pays any attention to you as the camera slowly dollies backwards, showing a few individuals in conversation on the balcony above, and finally dollying out through the doorway, out into the city street where we see the front facade of the Dancing Dragon, with the sign slowly creaking back and forth as rain splashes against it and the wind pushes it about. We crossfade back to the roads where we follow our stalwart adventurers making their path along. On horseback, I believe you all were.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in upon the town, you all find the walls spreading to the left and the right, gray stone against the gray rain and the gray horizon, upon which sit many squat buildings, farmsteads in the distance, gray dots on the gray horizon. As you enter in through the gates, the guards give you a nod, looking towards you. One of them eyes you up and down and says, "Peace bands?" he says in a quizzing manner.
We're hunters.
Hunters be you or not, you know the rules. Band him if you're not drawing them.
Okay. Do we grab? Are there peace bands that we can grab?
You could just, any leather wrapping. Are you asking
okay.
for him?
No. This is the first time we've heard this.
You're familiar with the rules. It's typically a
Okay.
thing. Some places
Okay.
enforce it, some places not so much, but it's known as a rule, and most people follow it without issue.
Okay. I'll just wrap my rapier and be like, is there a place we can stay that's close by?
You're looking for a rooming? Long term? Short term? He looks up at you, holding his arm over as the rain pounds down. Oh, by the way, rain.
Short term, but maybe long term for now.
Are you looking at finery or just anything?
Anything would do.
I might recommend, if... One sec, it was in here. Yeah, I might recommend Shasraz. It's probably your type of residence. He looks you guys up and down. Bit ragtag, aren't you? Not to be rude about it.
Is the Nine Fires Inn all right?
The Nine Fires is a pleasant enough place. If you're looking to... Well, yeah, it's an alright enough place.
Also, I was wondering, have you been here for a while? I was wondering if you've seen a dwarf come by here at all.
A dwarf?
Yes. Cast. We're probably gonna go to bed so I'll just waste a spell slot. I'll cast Disguise Self to make myself look like Doc.
You do this. Hey, Jesus, Mother Tamora, what is bloody? And he looks
Have you
upon-
seen this person before?
I'm looking upon him. I don't believe what I've just seen. Yes. As a matter of fact, yes. Came on wagon. Mayhaps 2 hours prior. An hour ago, in fact.
Do you know where he went?
It was just yonder. He disembarked from the wagon and made his way across. He's probably at the Dancing Dragon, in fact.
Perfect. Are you ready to go then?
Are you asking your companions, or are you inquiring from the guard?
The guard.
I would like to cast message and see if I can message Doc
Okay.
and say, "Hey Doc, we're here in Arabelle."
As you do this, it kind of does the Ang Lee side wipe to show a split screen of Doc slugging back on the cold ale when your voice pops into his head. I don't know if you're really expecting it or not, but it hits so suddenly while you're in the mid that you nearly choke on the ale there, which sucks because it's really good ale, as a matter of fact. They have a thing here called, what is it? Black shit. I wrote it down and I totally forgot it. It's a whoop, way down. Holy shit. It's in here, I swear to God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyway, it's a really good beer. And you can't remember what the boy said it was called. Black something or other. Fuck did it go? But that said, what do you say to him, Aldous?
You mean what does Doc say to me?
Oh yeah, I suppose so. What do you say in
Yeah,
response?
so after catching my breath, I'm going to tell him I'm at the Dancing Dragon. Why don't you guys come out of the rain?
And then I'll turn to Thomas and say, the Doc is at the Dancing Dragon. That's where we should go ahead and head.
Okay, perfect. Get this guy's on. Let's see if Doc gets scared a bit. So I'll walk into the. We'll walk. Is there a place to hitch our horses near the Dancing Dragon at all, or no?
It does have a trough and a tie bar across the front facade.
Is there a place to not get them wet, to keep them dry, a little drier?
There's
than that, or
no covering, unfortunately.
Okay. We can stay there for a bit, but I think we should find another place to sleep.
There was a stablery at the gate that you guys passed on the way in.
Okay.
Otherwise, since you know the Nine Fires, you probably also know that Shasraz will board animals.
Okay.
I think the Nine Fires will too. Yeah, they do. They're more expensive, but they'll do it.
Okay. I'll just hitch my horse, and I'll say to it, we'll be back. I just feel real bad, just leaving in this freaking rainstorm.
Oh no, never mind. It's cheaper then. My bad. Yeah, it's totally cheaper then. Cool. So you're gonna head over to the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we'll head into. Can you message Jock? Say, does he need any? Can you just meet us outside?
I could
No,
totally
you're not.
message him.
Go on.
Cantrip.
So-
Yeah, just tell him to come meet us
Yeah.
outside. We don't need to stay at the Dancing Dragons.
So I'll message Doc, and I'll say, "Hey Doc, Tomas says that he has another choice in where he wants to stay tonight. To come outside."
All right, but I'm finishing my beer first.
Priorities,
Thomas,
after all.
he says he's gonna come, but he's gonna finish his beer first.
Okay. Oh, I'll be like, when he comes out, I'm gonna act like his long lost twin brother. Just give me that.
All right.
Does
It
Doc come out?
it takes a quick. Sorry, as you guys are hanging out in the rain for the moment, the camera crossfades. The white finishes crossing over as you guys are hanging out in the rain there, and it shows Doc situated as he puts down the mug at the table, looks over, and the boy runs over. Are you all right, sir? How's your ale then? Can I get you another?
Now, what do I owe you for it? I got a couple of friends that just showed up.
Just a silver piece, sir.
I'll flip them too.
You do this as the bartender shouts out, "Oi! Boy, how many times I tell you, don't fleece the customers. It's 4 copper, my lordship."
I'll give him a silver anyway for trying.
The boy gives a smile, looks over at the bartender and says, "You're only
Oh, but
enabling the bad
before you-
behavior, but..."
no, but I want to grab his arm before he leaves and make sure I get his name.
Okay. He gives a startled, "Hey! Sir? My name's Tan.
What's your name, boy?
My name's Tan.
Todd?
Tan. It's short for Tanner. All my friends call me Tan."
All right, Tan. Well, keep an ear out for me. I'll stop by later on.
He gives a smile and a nod.
All right, I'll wander my way outside.
And as soon as I see Doc, I'll be like, "Doc, my long lost brother, how have you been? Oh, I found you. I found you."
From out of the
Well,
rain,
I got a question here. Does Tomas speak dwarf?
I don't.
Because I'm pretty sure my long lost brother would not be speaking common to me after not seeing me. Just a little bit here.
not to mention he's got a thick accent that sounds like Tomas trying to impersonate you. I mean, Tomas, you can throw a performance on this to see how well you impersonate.
Performance?
Yeah, to see how well you impersonate Doc.
19.
Oh wow, it's spot fucking on. It still sounds like Tomas, but it's coming out of the phone, and it's just that little bit of. It's like when you replace a voice actor, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's almost there. It's almost there.
All right, I got to call up a little bit. I see the rest of the group, so I got to be able to deduce who you are with my
Yeah,
perception.
I'll drop it. Okay. Dry. Shall we? We're gonna go to the not. You guys want to go to the cheaper place or the more expensive place?
I'm fine for either. Honestly, I just want to get out of the rain.
9-5.
Warm in there.
Yeah, but the 9-5 is where the people we got almost attacked by.
All right, well, why don't we catch up when we get there? But let's get out of this bloody rain.
Okay, can we head to the 9-Fires? In?
The camera pans against the Goliath as he stares down at everybody, rain pounding down upon his head and shoulders. And then it pans over to show Resvin, who's sopping wet, his hat floppy against his head. Pans over to show Aldous, his elven ears sagging from the moisture. Water dripping off all of his features. And you guys trudge in after the party, after the 2 of your party members as they head off down the road, heading towards the 9-Fires. Throw me investigation, Mr. Tomas. Mr. Everhart.
Natural 20, 23.
Like you'd been there just yesterday, you lead the party through the streets of Arabelle. On either side, you guys are witness to long halls, the long hall walls that are made up of building after building squashed up against, each with a placard situated over a doorway bearing some service, some doing, some family name, each and every one of them made from plaster, mud, timber, or brick. The whole of the place is featureless and gray for the most part, with everything cookie cutter and packed in as tight as it can be within the city's walls. In some places you can see old construction directly next to new constructions that now resemble more densely constructed buildings, as if they couldn't get them any smaller. Making way past people on either side, you mill your way through the populace that, for even the rain, still commit to whatever task they have to conduct. Life in Arabelle seems busy as you make your way through the dirt and mud streets. The rain puddling and pooling as you splash along, making your way towards, you finally come upon the Nine Fires. A squat building, a pair of stories stacked at one on the other. The upper level clearly full of bedrooms, and the lower level full of a kitchen. And off to the one kitchen, foyer, welcome committee. And off to the one side, you can see a lean-to that seems to be their stablery. A set of nicely fashioned steps leads up into the foyer of the Nine Fires. Who's going in? Who's doing what?
Can I lead my horse to the stablery?
You can.
Or
I'll be doing that as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think we'll all follow that direction.
Sounds good.
and then
You're muted, Doc.
Yeah, I tried pressing space for some reason it wasn't working. I'm just gonna pop inside the front door and wait because I'm not standing in the rain. I was dry.
Where are we here? Bear with me, gentlemen. So like this, and like this. As you come upon the side entryway that is the stables, your horses chuff, seeking upon the shelter, and almost as if they realize what's coming, they accelerate their step, leading you under the shelter, and finding themselves lined up easily enough, taking respite with the drinking water in the trough. A few other horses nearby chuff as they arrive, perhaps protesting their property or perhaps greeting, you're not really sure. As the cold shivers of the rainwater seep down against your armors or clothing, you look in towards the back door, which is slightly open, with a bit of light flickering and the sounds of a kitchen echoing. You can see, just through a little bit of a crack, and there's a pair of windows from where you are. One to the right of the doorway is lit, and you can see movement against it. And the one to the left is going to be dark. What else? Actually, we'll say, that's fine. And then there's going to be stacks of hay here, that sort of thing. So.
So after we get our horses situated, we just go to, I'd say, not to be rude, we should go through the front, I guess. We're not uncivilized. So I'll pat my horse and then I'll head to the front where Doc is.
Okay, sounds good.
Was there a stable master there, or was it just?
There didn't seem to be any. As you look around, you do notice that there is a bell next to the door.
Okay.
It looks like the door has a latch for ringing it.
I'll ring the bell to wait for a stable master or someone to come by.
You hear a clatter inside the kitchen as soon as you ring the bell. As this occurs, you hear a shout, "Coming!" A moment later, a young woman opens the doorway. As she peers out, broad shoulders and thick thighs, she regards the lot of you and says, "Hello, my name's Sven Hanna."
Hello. We're open to
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl? Okay.
No, you know what? I'm gonna make a different one here. Shara. Yeah, that's a good one actually. Shara. How can I help you? You've arrived at the Nine Fires, and I'm assuming those are your horses.
They are, yes. We're hoping to stay the night, and was also hoping someone could take care of our horses while
course.
we stay here.
Of course, we'll be serving up the hay in just about an hour now. Come on in. You can enter through here. And she opens the doorway and reveals a hallway leading through to the common room.
Thank you kindly.
Not at all. Please understand. Keep it peaceful. As she looks you up and down and sees you sopping wet, and then regards the lot of you, pointing out the weapons and armor and whatnot. She says, "Keep it peaceful, please. This isn't a fest hall, after all."
Of course. We'll be civilized.
Of course.
I yell out for Doc, tell him we're going inside. He's in the front, because Doc's in the front, right? So. You
yeah.
can hear me.
No, he's already inside.
Oh, you're already inside the building, Doc? Or you were in the...
I went inside the front door. I was not standing in the rain.
Oh, okay.
So, that said, though, it crossfades to show Doc doing so. As you enter in up the stairs and come to the common room, you see the bar to the one side is small, but replete with its shelving, and oh my god, total gappening here. And you see a massive hearth situated to the other side. The huge fireplace is burning away, keeping the whole of the interior well and warm. You see several better dressed individuals than you'd seen elsewhere, situated around the common area in light conversation, playing a game of cards between them. There seem to be...
Is there someone tending the bar, or is there someone that looks like they're working there that I'm going to approach to...
For sure. You
See
cross
about-
the chamber. There seem to be two guards two bouncers, I suppose, if you will, in the common area. One sitting by the bar who looks you up and down as you approach, and then looks towards the barkeep. The barkeep is a portly human fellow, well enough dressed in a fine tunic, and he has a fanciful apron across his midsection. He's drying a wine glass and gives it a swish through the air before he hangs it on a set of hooks at the left of the shelves. He regards you with a bit of a nod and bids you to sit down with a gesture towards the stools at the bar. The bouncer looks back towards and grabs a fistful of some snack crumblies out of a bucket on the bar, as the rest of you in the hallway's rear find yourself silhouetted in the common area's entryway. At the back entry of the common area. So, as the four silhouettes appear one after the next, with a giant Goliath as the backdrop to the lot of you, the thunder outside continues. The rain, unabated, continues to pound on the building. Doc, you notice your companions arrive as the barkeep walks upon you and says, "What can I get you?"
Me and my friends just arrived. We're looking for a place to stay for the night. You have rooms available?
He gives a nod at this, and says, "You're in luck. I've got 2 rooms available. They're 20 gold a day currently." Oh, hang on. Sorry. Whoa. Sorry. Hang on. That is not correct.
They're 200 gold a day.
No, it's 12 gold a day.
Okay.
That's all right. Well, let me see what the rest of the
Well,
the
we
guys
have
want to do.
We
'cause
have,
we got five of us.
we have Broth. No, we have 6 of us. We have Brothric with us as well.
Oh, we still have Roderick with us. Okay.
Yes. He wanted to come to Erebor to us, so.
All right. Well, let me see what they got to say in the meantime. Can I get one of the house beers?
I keep forgetting that Roderick is involved in this. I honestly
Yeah.
do, and I hate that about this, about myself for it, because everything I've written, I've totally forgotten that Roderick is involved, but that's okay. Point being, though, is as he enters in upon, I still remember his motivations and everything, so I mean that's fine. He comes in upon with a lot of you shivering away, patting himself down in an effort to warm the body. As you guys enter the common space and discuss the rooms, Roderick steps forward and says, "That's fine." He gives a little cough and looks at his wrist there for a moment. And there's bits of... who's got a passive perception of 15 or better?
Me and Doc.
Fantastic. The two of you notice a bit of blood spattered on his wrist, which he dutifully wipes off on his dark pants.
I'll whisper in his ear and I'll cast Healing Word on him. We're gonna go to bed. We're not fighting tonight. If we do, I'm screwed. But I'll cast Healing Word on him just to strike him up.
Okay. As the magic takes effect over him, he gives a little bit of a jolt and a shake of his head. He steadily lets a bit of a breath go as he seems to relax in some fashion that he had no idea he needed to. In the distance, you hear a car start and leave. Where are we here?
So, I guess who wants to? I'll bunk with Roderick. I don't mind doing that. And then who else wants to bunk with Roderick?
I'll be with Roderick too.
Okay, me and Victor will be there.
Good. I'll take the small people.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
You can all lay horizontally.
Aldous is not that small, I don't think. Should we? Can I scan around the room? Are there any insignia symbols of the Iron Throne in this area at all? Do we see any indication? Because this is where they got the Vigil, those guys got their notice, right? To their assassination. So do I see any
Any insignias or obvious markings of any sort?
of Iron Throne?
Of the Iron Throne? No.
No. Okay.
No, you do not.
Okay. Rothan, maybe you once you get the rooms, maybe you go upstairs and get rest, and then we can talk in the morning.
We were talking to Rother, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Resvin.
No, Rothan. Rothan.
No, I'm like,
I'm looking at the screen like, come on, talk, man. What?
All waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
Sorry. Roderick looks at you and says, "That's fine. Although, first thing in the morning, I'll want to seek out my contacts. I'll need to see my financiers. I'll need to secure many. Yes, the first thing, rest. Clear the mind.
Yeah. It's been a long journey for you. So.
I have you to thank for it. You all." He gives a nod as he looks up towards each of you. And he, looking towards the Goliath, is like, "Right on, buddy." You know, he's,
I just looked down my arm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay.
and he kind of backs away. And I think, yes, a bit of sleep will do us all good.
He's just tired from the journey. There's nothing he hasn't been poisoned or anything on them. We didn't know somebody didn't just poison him, right? It's just
You're sure he's just tired?
Okay.
Well, sorry, you're sure he's tired, I should say. If it's something else, you may have helped it with a quick bout of healing.
Yeah.
Something may be more wrong with him. Maybe he's contracted something. Maybe there's some other effect ailing him. He is an old man.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, there was an assassination attempt on him. He was hung. You know, it
Yeah.
could be anything.
Okay.
I didn't see it, so I can't do a medicine check.
I'll say, maybe we should grab. Are there a lot of people in the inn right now, or is it just?
It's not super packed. Or sorry, there's not a lot of people, but the place is busy for its size.
Okay. I asked the barman, are we allowed to bring drinks up to our rooms?
He gives a nod.
Okay. Can we go to Resin, Doc, and Aldous' room to talk?
There's only 2 rooms available.
Yeah. So, Roderick will go into the room that me and Victor will sleep in, and then we have another room so we can all 5 of us can talk in privately. I say, grab your drinks, fellows. I flip the barman. Will a gold be enough for all of us? Drink.
He gives a nod, and then some sirs.
Couple of copper.
I'll flip him a gold.
He catches it, and then as he takes it and he drops it in the box, he gives a nod, and as you guys turn to, he actually he grabs a set of keys, a pair of them, and offers them forth, fanning them out, the 2 of them. Roderick takes one deftly, and begins heading up the stairs as the other one is offered towards whomever's next to take.
I'll grab it, but it's not my room, so I'll just say.
That's fine. He lets
Grab
you
your
take
drinks. Yep.
You watch out of the corner of your eye as he takes a gold coin out on a necklace from under his tunic and tucks it back underneath.
Okay.
As you make your way up the stairs and round the corner of the first flight, Roderick continues to walk along. He looks down at his key, and he says, "It says on it 2-2. What would you assume that means?" He says. As you come into the hall, you can see at the far end there's a circular gold plaque depicting a portly woman upon it with flowing hair smiling towards you. There's a set of stairs leading up.
Do we recognize the woman at all? Is she a god? Is it a divine being, or is it like just a random woman?
You recognize it possibly as a religious thing. You can roll me religion.
Sure. I'm proficient in religion now. 18.
You recognize the visage of the Lady Luck, Tamora.
Ah.
And it hits you right, Arabelle. This is where you remember something in history was of import here. You can roll history at advantage.
It's 16.
Fantastic. You remember that Tamora herself appeared to the town once upon. Showed a sign of who was to be the rightful ruler. And with that said,
I'll just look.
Hey,
Can I look at it and I'll just ask it a question to see if anything happens?
you look.
We have a painting that does that, so I'll just do
You
it.
approach the thing, look into its visage, and what do you ask Tamora?
Is the platinum still in town?
You look at your reflection for a moment and think to yourself, I'm not sure what I expected.
Yeah.
Your companions in the background watch upon as they stand next to the stairs leading up, and Roderick looks at his key and says, 2-2 must mean second floor, second room. And he heads up the second flight of stairs.
Did it work, Thomas?
No, I had to try. You never know. We have a weird thing. You found it in the hospital. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does the key on mine say?
It says 3-1.
Okay. Doc, can we do that thing that you can sense people going in and out of the room?
Yeah, we can alarm. I can alarm his room.
Yeah. So after Rothar goes into his room, can Doc alarm it
Yeah.
before we go upstairs
That means-
to ours?
As you guys are heading up towards the 3rd floor, the far hallway doorway opens up as a young lass, lithe and half naked, walks out. She looks upon, without a bit of blush, the half-elfin woman begins to, in fact, get further dressed there in the hallway and walk past you all, smelling thickly of sweat and faintly of everything else you can imagine. With a bit of flowing, dirty blonde hair, she makes her way past, a bit of a bounce to her step as she tries to leave the hall as quickly as possible. Ducking past the lot of you, she tries not to look at anyone as she leaves. The door closes behind where she came out of.
What room was that in?
As you look down the way, you count off the rooms. That's room 4. There's 8 rooms to a floor here. Actually, sorry, that'll be just room 2. There's going to be 4 rooms to a floor.
Okay.
They're not tiny, so.
Okay. Can we go to our room? And then I'll say we should catch up Doc from what we've learned. And I will hand him the piece of paper once we're in our room. Before I hand it, I will check the room for any bugs or anything like that, because I don't know what if the Iron Throne gets their work from here, so I'm just gonna check the room for anything that's like any fishy or anything like that.
Sure, you want to just do a scan over of it.
Yeah.
Odds or evens?
Let's do odds.
Sounds good. So you're going to look over the room with an investigation roll, if you could, sir. Mr. Everhart takes the time to scan over the chamber, as the rest of you are what?
23 for investigation.
Fabulous roll.
I'm gonna find a comfy chair to have a
Oh
beer.
no, not 23. Well, 21. Sorry, I can't.
Still over 20, that's fine. Doc finds himself a nearby cushioned sofa that sits just in the hall next to a small table upon which is a vase and flower. A few parchments sit there, some hot sheets apparently, telling of recent news, recent being at the beginning of the month. As you leaf through it, it seems to be a publication called the Arabellan, and it is every month that they put it out, every 4/10 day.
You know how castles have.
Or every 3/10 day. Sorry. You were saying?
You know how castles kind of have those listening alcoves,
Yes.
right? And I'm kind of wondering if I can scan the room to see if there's any kind of like holes into other rooms, any kind of acoustics that'll bounce off.
So you're looking
and
for
go-
stuff too throughout the room?
Yeah, not
So
objects.
Resvin gets jiggy with Mr. Everhart as they scan over the chamber. Go ahead and throw me an investigation as well. With a 21, you don't happen to find any sort of listening posts. However, of all the things,
Finally got a 16.
you find that there is a loose board to the room,
Okay.
to the room's
Can I at
floor.
the same time, while they're doing their thing, take 10 minutes and ritual cast Detect Magic?
You absolutely can. Almost at the same time that you're pulling the panel up off the floor, because I'm assuming that's what Thomas is about to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You fire off your Detect Magic, and lo, but a bit of a glow does come from under the floorboard.
Tomas, wait. There's something magical in there. I don't know if it's trapped.
Well, I just touched it. Is he tells what school magic is it?
Yes, it is a conjuration magic, as a matter of fact.
It's conjuration magic, as a matter of fact.
Can I see what's inside? Can I see what's inside there or no?
As you go to pull the panel up, you can't see anything under the panel. You'd have to pull it up.
Okay. Well,
You
I
can
don't know.
You can throw me some sort of perception, possibly, to try and find a trap. If there is a trap, detect a trap.
Yeah. Sure.
I can use
Perception.
an unseen servant to lift it. So if there's a trap, it'll go off and we're a little bit further back.
I don't think there's gonna be. It's gonna be like it's a 16 for perception.
I'm sorry, a 16 for perception?
Yeah.
Okay. You do not sense any strange apparatus around the board. It seems like just a board that's been loosened and replaced.
I have Victor with me. I just lift it up.
Underneath, you find a small cache with a dagger, a set of bolts, crossbow bolts,
Ooh.
and a small stone with an odd glyph upon it, from which the sort of effervescent glow is emanating from. The effervescent green glow of a conjuration thing.
Okay.
The thing is about egg-sized, egg-shaped, and upon it has this glyph emblazoned. You can roll Arcanic if you are proficient, at disadvantage if you are not.
I am.
Aldous looking upon the stone, and Tomas.
I got a 12.
12 plus 5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
As you read upon the sigil, you know you've seen it before, Tomas. Aldous, you recognize it as a inscribed word of recall. The stone is used to transport back to a place. But where?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I wanted to note that the crossbow bolts have their ends covered. There's a leather wrapping that's tightly bound against the ends, and I'll even say that there's the stain of moisture underneath the leather.
Resvin should probably check those out.
I will give the crossbow bolts to Resvin because he's the only one that has a crossbow.
As you reach down and pick them up, wafting them about, you can easily smell an aroma coming off them.
Okay.
Hey, Rez, do you mind if I take a look at that with my poisoner's kit? Or at least one of them?
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll pick them up with like a rag that I have on me. I probably have a rag or something, and then just hand it over to Resvin and Doc. Does the dagger seem magical at all, or no?
As you look upon the dagger, you can say that it's a well-fashioned dagger, to be sure. It looks very, very nice. And when I say dagger, I mean this thing is we're going to say that it's more of an assassin's stiletto.
Ooh. Okay.
And so upon the hilt of it, it doesn't have much of a guard, but it has enough of a guard to keep the hand on the blade and protect it in a curved fashion. Very small, very quick, and then of course this long, thin blade, kind of just a pencil, if you will. And then the handle thrusts out. This thing looks like a miniature fencer's épée, and except much thicker. You know, this is like a thick pencil of an épée, and sharp as a tack. And the handle that comes out ends in a pommel that has a sort of phallic end to it. Almost looks like a hat until you turn it over and you can see that in fact it looks like, oddly enough, a bit of a chair.
Does it have any inscriptions or anything like that?
On the You know what? No, oddly enough, it doesn't have any
Okay.
other than a little bit of decorative filigree along the curvature, the guard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Can I
any.
do a history check on it?
Sure.
Great. Man, I am rolling so bad tonight. 8.
That is terrible. As you look upon it, you know.
That's with a +5.
Jesus. Okay, well, long and the short, I mean, as you look upon it, you easily recognize the historical design of it. It's your average assassin's knife. It's meant to be used to puncture, quick and to be easily concealed. This one seems to be slightly modified, or a modified design of the simple with the guard around the wrist. And then there's the chair on the bottom. It seems like somebody takes their job very seriously.
I'll give that to Doc. I'm more. I say, Doc, here's another tool for you. I don't know.
As you go to hand it towards them, you notice that the pommel has a catch to it. You have a 15 passive?
Both of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you note the catch at the bottom where the pommel is, holding it towards Doc, so does he.
Is there something in it? Can I?
It looks like the chair portion can actually be removed.
Can I remove what's? Can I open it and see what's inside?
By all means. As you give it a tug,
Poison reservoir.
it snaps open easily enough to, in fact, reveal a reservoir, if you will, an empty
Ooh.
space inside.
Oh.
The inside of the blade seems hollow.
So you can put some. Oh, Doc, this seems like up your alley.
I figure out a way to make use of it.
I ask Aldous, is the dagger glowing?
No,
No,
Just
just
the-
the rock.
just the rock.
And then I checked how much coin there's in.
But then that makes me curious: is this rock which end? Is this rock going to teleport you somewhere, or is this rock going to teleport somebody else in here? Like, is this somebody's safe return that they have here?
Oh.
Not just a pretty face.
So I guess it is kind of like a magical theory.
Basically, at some point, somebody could just pop in on us at any time and we carry this
Yeah.
rock.
So, oh.
Can I roll an Arcana check on Word of Recall?
How do you mean?
Well, like is there like a magical theory where you kind of hear about these spells and know that it's
It'd probably be a religion, right? That'd be.
It would be an arcanic check to know academically about the spell. Sure, yeah, by all means, you can go ahead and roll. I'm not sure where you're going with it, but I like the cut of your jib. Go ahead and roll that. Well, I'm sorry. Thomas was counting coin. There's no coin in the chamber.
Huh?
There's no coin in the pit.
Oh, there's no. You said there was like a cash thing. Was that I misheard?
No, it's
No,
a
that
cache.
is where the poison goes into.
Oh, okay.
And then the reservoir is where the poison. But that's beside the point. The dagger was in a cache, along with some crossbow bolts that had their ends wrapped,
Oh, okay.
and the egg of recall.
Okay.
And what did you roll, sir?
9. That's
Well,
with a plus
it's
7.
better than last time, and I think that's an
No,
improvement.
It's with a plus 7. It's actually worse than.
Oh my god, it's worse.
It's D&D Beyond. It hasn't rolled above
Wow.
a 4 for me today. Like, I'm just like screwing around with it, and it's like 3s, 4s, 2.
At least when my physical dice roll shitty, I know it's still physical dice.
Come on,
Not
I'm switching to physical dice.
That's the spirit. That's right.
Swear words. I'm so angry.
So I know that I got the dagger in front of me before. I'm expecting that. What's in the paper? We mentioned there was a newspaper there. Like, what's the current news going on?
For the Arabella.
That's an excellent question. As you look upon the cover, as you sift through the pages, you find the front page, and the headline reads, "Oh my God, so much." Where is he? God damn it! Sorry, hang on one sec here. The headline reads, Lothar dead! Exclamation mark. Who will be next? Or who will be the next hand of the lady? And then the article reads out that apparently the high hand of the Temple of Tamora here in town choked on a piece of crockery and summarily died. And
a piece of crockery?
A piece of clay crockery, which is what most of all the things. Apparently, he couldn't get a glass to save his life. Like, he's a wine drinker. He was drinking wine, apparently, according to the article, and he choked on a piece of crockery because every glass that they tried to bring to him kept smashing or breaking accidentally. In fact, the article goes on to exclaim that the rack of glasses that they had at the church, in fact, all smashed in a freak accident when a wine cask rolled off the top storage shelf and fell into the cutlery, causing a cacophony of destruction. And so there wasn't a single glass in the whole place. And so he was forced to drink from a clay piece of crockery and summarily choked on a piece that cut out his throat.
Does that sound very plausible to everybody?
Opinions resound about as the article goes on to talk about how he was a loved and reviled individual for his outspoken manner and for his competitive nature against the leadership of Arabelle.
Well, I just look at Doc and say, well, we just found a cache where somebody's been holding poisoned arrows, crossbow bolts, a dagger that holds poison, and a thing that lets you come back or go forth from it.
Yes, but noticeably absent was any evidence of extra crockery used as well.
Yeah, but crockery could be.
No, I mean, that was actually something I was planning on doing tonight anyway. Aside from like finding the poison, was something that I wanted to start making use of. Was my poisoner's kit was to start rounding out some things to have on hand. I was going to start doing that tonight anyway.
We also have the poison from Bartholomew and that guy's stash, though.
Yeah. The idea is to start using those to figure out. I mean, the way that I'm looking at it, the things that I want to work on are having, one that is good for putting on weapons. I want one that's good for putting in foods or putting in liquids, drinks, that kind of thing. And then the last one is whether I can get something that can be either an aerosol or something like that. Those are kind of the three that I'm looking to put together. A little bit of study each night.
Okay. Okay. So the room's not bugged, right?
As far as you could tell, there was nothing that led you to think anybody was listening in on the place. There was no resident didn't find any little holes anywhere that anybody would be listening through.
President can't find his butt today.
I usher everybody inside the room, close the door, and say, "Okay, Doc," and I catch Doc up on everything we found out to let him know that the platinum might still be here in Arabelle. It was picked up today from what the note said. So I say we could ask the painting. I looked all up. We could ask the painting if the freaking platinum is still here, just to see if we're good to go. But it's up to you.
But hold on, can someone give me the cliff notes here, because Rothric looked like he got beat up by some sort of wild animal, and only got on the road. So
yeah, it's Rothric is still injured. So we literally took him out of the hospital, right? And then
you've given him a couple healing words, and he seems to be recovering, if not mostly recovered.
I could waste, if you guys want him to be healed-ish, I could waste a cure wounds on him. I have a scroll of cure wounds that I haven't used yet, but
I have 2 cure wounds.
So you want to? Yeah.
Today.
Okay. You want to cure wounds, and we can do that.
And you're going to be long resting too shortly, so.
Yeah. Might as well.
Theoretically anyway. It depends on what you guys end up doing. I don't know.
So what did I miss? Last I saw you guys were heading out after we had just robbed the widow.
Yeah. You have 104 gold, right?
Yeah.
104?
Yeah.
100 something like that? 110.
You guys headed out. You guys went up and met Volunteer. How'd that go? All good?
Yeah. It's I think he might have mole. I think he might have a mole inside his organization.
Didn't show up.
Yeah, his finance person that he works with wasn't there, so the Iron Throne, our business
But it
people.
was like suspiciously not there. We waited for a while for this person to show up. We should have been there before we were there.
Yeah, so that's a little suspicious, but
Sorry, which is this? What did I miss?
we're just talking about Volunteer's finance guy.
Oh, yeah. Right.
How he's missing. And then, so with the money still might be in Arable. Like they picked it up today. Today is when they picked it up.
When they were supposed to pick it up.
Yeah, but we don't know if they moved it already or if they like.
You found the letter, right?
Yeah, in the letter it said it was picked up today.
What letter?
And Levis home, the park.
Oh, okay. All right, got it.
That's what it said. That the but if we want more info, we have to go contact them at the Bent Bow.
And then when we picked up, what's his name? Roderick? What's his name?
Rotherick.
Rotherick. We picked up Rotherick. We were attacked in the hospital.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there for that. That was before we
Yeah.
went to the widow's house.
Yeah.
All right, so you went to the widow's house. You guys headed out from there. You went and saw Volunteer. His finance guy didn't show up. That was a little weird. You guys got your payment. Rez got a bunch of gunpowder, which scares the shit out of me.
Little hand tank full. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And then he was way too excited to tell you about that part the other night when I was trying to listen in.
What did I say? 5 pounds of black powder? 10 pounds of
Yeah.
black powder? What'd you get there? A lot of black powder, anyway. So
It was like a small cask.
yeah, I can't remember how many pounds it was, but we're gonna need that poundage for math later, I'm sure.
And then you guys all headed north up to Arabelle.
Yeah, we stopped in the Star, we switched horses, and got attacked by
Sold our
bears.
horses and bought new ones.
You got attacked by bears.
Yeah, but we didn't kill them because they ran away.
I'm gonna need the black powder for my boomstick.
That's humane.
Yeah. So
Robert is trying to see who's here. I heard it mentioned.
Well, remember, he has contacts in Arabelle. He has contacts when we first saw him before we got attacked.
And there's some sort of structure he used on like the gate, at the main gate. But we just went around it.
Yeah.
But if we go back there, we probably might have to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
Where is this? It's very. There's Deacon, his finance guy. Blanchard, who owns the inn, visits every third day, and there's Tom and Ray, head of the guard. I take these up.
Yeah, you guys start sharing them, so I can't keep up with the names. I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, there's Deacon, so he might be go seeing Deacon tomorrow. I don't think he's gonna take. I don't trust the gods anymore. I don't know how far this corruption goes. And then Blanchard might be in this. I don't know. We can tell us what inn he owns, but Blanchard might be in there.
All right. So
So
we just max and relax for the evening and go real figures out.
I could go down to the barman and cast. I have one last spell slot tonight.
I can ask the picture something too.
Yeah,
Still
I
have
could cast
my
a
fucking
suggestion on the barman and be like, hey, find me some information on the Iron Throne. But it's hit or miss kind of thing.
And I'll go down with you. I still haven't eaten yet. I'm 2 beers deep, so.
Well, yeah. Well, do you want to
After a long trek on the road, no less.
Yeah.
I want you to know
wanna
your
ask-
bowels love you right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. I picked up a bunch of food before we left.
Yeah. You want to ask a painting something tonight? I know it's a waste of. It might be a
I don't really know what exactly to ask it. I mean, I feel like it's gonna give us
Has the platinum left Arabelle?
and just straight, simple like that.
I think that's the best question. Is if it's still in Arabelle, then it's
What
still
if it hasn't arrived at Arabelle yet. So we have like several scenarios, right? We
No,
have-
it was no. It
We're
was
supposed to, but what if it got delayed? It's been raining, right? And a card like
but it was stolen like 3 weeks ago, Brisbane. Before the rain happened. It was stolen like 2 weeks ago. Like this was before everything. It was supposed to be picked up tonight, so it was already here.
Yeah, but the people picking it up could have been delayed. It's not not necessarily the platinum being there. It's if the platinum's getting picked up today, the people picking it up may have been delayed. Is that what you meant, Rez?
I thought that it was on its way in through town.
No, it was already here. Also, the Iron Throne, from my contact, I talked to some of my friends, and they said that the money might be used for some war effort that's going on here. I don't know. And that they have the Iron Throne has put up shop in the area. So the Iron Throne are definitely here. So.
As you say this, you quickly think to yourself, insightfully remembering the chair at the hilt of the stiletto.
Oh, it's an Iron Throne. Fucking hell. Okay.
I thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
I thought it was
I didn't want to
obvious.
assume. I'm not the smartest. I have a one intelligence, guys.
But you take
I'm
the
a
best
bot.
notes.
Yes, I do take notes. So well, killing somebody with the church. This is confusing. Well, what do you guys want to do then? Do you guys want to ask the painting a question?
I mean, how good was the answer last time? I can't recall.
It was not good. It was
Well,
very.
But we asked, where is the platinum? That's we do.
And
that
that
was-
was the
that's
answer to
general-
the question was to look through the history.
That was a general thing. We know. We just this is.
So have we identified what the root of her problem is? Like, we think it's Iron Throne, but there's the hand, like there's the three different factions, right?
The hand, the eye, and the foot.
Yes.
The foot moves the pawn, the hand that sees the pawn, and the foot that moves the pawn, the hand that sees the pawn, and the eye that sees the pawn, and the hand that stabs the pawn. So I'm guessing I look down to the cache where that's the hand right there. Yeah, I think that's probably the best guess. That's the hand. This is probably that faction. So I guess we would be dealing with the foot because it's moving. This is the trafficking part of it.
I was thinking that's the root, right? Your foot's kind of rooted down. Who knows? I'm reaching, totally reaching.
Well,
okay, you know
I
what?
don't know. He's clearing his board, so we should all probably do something pretty quick here.
okay. Well, we're gonna eat and then go to bed. Like that's the best plan we have right now. And then we're gonna go friggin' find a bent bow. Are we gonna go to the bent bow or are we gonna find? We can put a notice here somewhere. This is where you put it. It says in the assassination note for Rothric. It says further work. Put a notice in the 9 fires.
Forward, but okay.
So we can.
So
it's either
is
two-
there a notice board downstairs? Or was there like a...
No.
So
I mean, you think it has something to do with the bartender pulling out that gold coin off his chest?
no, that was more of a sign to Tamora, probably.
Yeah.
Because she's Lady Luck.
kind of thing. Yeah. Like,
So
As you guys are bantering amidst yourselves,
ruminating.
the plank of wood in your hand that you're waving about, Doc notices that it's got an insignia on the bottom of it for the first time. As you're talking with this thing, hand talking with this thing in your hand. Resvin, you look up and you see it as well. Being you're short, you look up at him, the two of you, Doc and as the elf is whipping this thing about. Sorry, are you Elven? I can never remember. Tomas?
Me?
Half Elven?
No,
or
I'm a human.
You're a human, okay. As you're waving this thing about, and as they're looking upon it, and you kind of look at it yourself, you can see that it's got upon it the common sigil spelling out Dropbox 1.
Dropbox 1?
Yeah, just literally verbatim right on the lid.
You know what? We didn't check. Why don't we check to see if the other room has a similar kind of...
Well, Roderick is sleeping right now. I don't want to bother him.
So?
I just want to point out, this is based on an odds or evens, so there's a 50-50 of this thing being here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Fuck, I chose right.
So, first try.
Yeah. So, I say... I don't know. I say... We have to eat and sleep, so... Are we going to the bent... We're going to the bent bow tomorrow, then? Is that what we're doing? Or are we going to... Or do you guys want to find more information about this Lothar? The Lothar that died? Because that seems suspicious to me as well. That seems like an assassination done right.
I mean, we can do both. We might not get any leads at the other
I don't want
other
to...
tavern, so...
I don't want to tip our hand. If we go to the bent bow, then it's kind of tipping our hands, right? Do you think?
I mean, not really. As long as we're...
if we went tonight, it'd be kind of silly, but tomorrow, no.
All right, go to the bent bow tomorrow, tonight, if you want to go downstairs and have a drink and let Tomas ply his trade at the barkeep. And then call it a night and get ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what time is it? I mean, we're looking at pretty late.
It's like 10 o'clock right now. It's pretty late.
Yeah, I'd say get a bite, see what you can get out of the bartender there. Then we'll hit the bent bow tomorrow. Anybody else?
Yeah, I guess so. I have... Because I have suggestion. It'll be my last spell slot of the day, but...
You're going to bed for a long rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Rez wanted to get on the way down, wanted to swing by the other room and take a peek, because wasn't Rez going to cast
Cure?
healing, right?
Yeah, I can cure.
So
But-
you can do your cure and do a search while you're up there. Meet us downstairs for dinner. Roll you a plate.
Yeah.
That work?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna check on him. So not just cure. I'm gonna do a. I'll do a medicine and see if I can diagnose something else on him too.
All right, so you go fix that up. We'll grab you a bite to eat, and then we'll let Tomas work on the bartender.
Okay. So
Victor,
Dooley,
you
I'm
hungry?
gonna go.
Hey, Dooley, I don't know if it's just me, but the stream is telling me that the broadcast I'm watching has ended.
That's
It's
just
still
you.
going for me.
Yeah, it's still going.
Alright, cool. I'm glad to hear that, because yeah, it says streaming on this end. Live for an hour, 23 minutes.
Yep.
Wouldn't be the first time it fucked up.
Okay, so I am going to go see Rothric,
And
and I'm going to do a medicine check on him because if he's still not doing well, so I'm going to do the doctor, breathe in, breathe out, push on his abdomen.
Now the room's alarmed though, isn't it?
It is an alarm, but it's a mental alarm. So I'll just know that he's going. If I know he's going there, I'll get the ping. But
Yeah.
it is a silent thing, right?
Yeah, it just tells Doc
But
who's
hang on, is it on a duration or is it don't you have to cast it again? I can't remember which way it is that.
It's 8 hours it's like 8 hours.
8 hours straight.
Yeah.
Looking it up right now just in case.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's one off or if it keeps. So as
No,
long
it's
as
8 hours straight. And I've got a mental alarm. If I'm within 1 mile of the
Every
water area,
time.
ping will just wake me up.
Every time. All right, groovy. That's fine. So, Resvin, announcing that you're doing this, you head downstairs. I'm assuming you tell the guys you're doing this, and then you head downstairs. Or, sorry, which room did you guys end up putting Roderick in?
2-2.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. So, long and the short, yeah, you head downstairs towards. As you open the door, you see inside the chamber the slumbering form of... Oh, is it really loud? Is the music really loud?
It's equal to your voice and starting to cap above it.
Alright, there we are.
There you go.
So as I was saying though, is oh, you're up there. What am I doing? Messing around with this. Opening the door into the chamber slowly and quietly, you creep into the dark curtain drawn room. The window slightly open. I didn't do that. That wasn't my Foley.
That's crazy. It's not mine.
I wasn't even here. That's okay. So whoever's got the victim that's dying, could you please tell them to be quiet? No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm not trying to call anybody out. Anyway, long and the short, you walk into the chamber and you see him slumbering away under the covers in the back of the room. The window's been opened slightly, and a bit of a breeze is blowing in as the rain patters down outside, dripping off of the windows. Through the curtains you can sight. The room is dark, and you can hear Roderick snoring in his bed.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna still try and like read his pulse, check his glands, check his abdomen, listen to his breathing. I'm thinking there's some kind of disease. So
throw me medicine.
Okay, so my medicine check. Please don't be black punch. Okay,
It's gonna be
17.
10. All right, terrific stuff. As you give him a quick once-over, feeling upon his glands, you can tell that they're slightly inflamed. Unless you're gonna start like stripping and tickling him in his sleep, there's not much more you can tell. But you can immediately tell that he is somewhat ill despite the healing spells.
Well, it was in the rainfall day too, so.
So from the outset, it does seem like maybe he's just suffering a bit from the atmosphere, from the cold, from the rain, from the moisture. Maybe some light case of pneumonia, but otherwise, he's an old man. Maybe he should be able to pull through all the same.
I cast Cure Wounds for 13 points.
All right, you call upon the energies around and transfer them through the man's body. He, in fact, glows a little bit in the darkness. As the magic takes effect, he shudders a little bit, doesn't wake up, and he seems to soothe and sleep a little more soundly.
Yeah. Basically, I have like a paintbrush, and I kind of draw a healing sigil on him, and...
Alright, fair enough. I'm down with that. As you do this, finishing up, he seems a little better off for it. What do you do?
You know what? I'm gonna do a scan of the room. Actually, I'm gonna check his belongings first.
You're gonna go rooting through his bag for his health?
I think he's holding out. So.
Alright.
So I'm gonna kind of.
Now, Roderick, he wasn't carrying anything, I don't believe.
No, he had like a couple pouches that he had like the barman of the Gilded Fist kept for him, but like that's about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check his cloak for his.
He was wearing the cloak that one of you lent him.
Yeah.
He hasn't received any. He went to the bar in Evening Star, yeah?
No, we didn't stop by the bar at all.
No, where was it that he grabbed the sacks? I'm having trouble to remember this.
Gilded Fist in Weymouth.
Right, okay, that was all the way back there. That's right. So he grabbed a pair of sacks there, and that's what he's been paying for everything so far with. So when he went to pay for the rooms here, you watched him just pull a fistful of coins out of the sack, And it's been shrinking quick as you guys have been traveling too. If you recall, he paid for a bunch of stuff before you guys left.
Yeah, you paid for our horses too.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
Check his boots. Like I'm not ripping them off.
No, I know
I'm
you're
checking
going
to
through
see
his
if
shit.
there's,
You want to make sure that he's on the up and up. That's fine, dude. Roll me investigation.
All right, investigation. Don't be button. 13.
You find a phone in his shoe. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
kidding. You find a
His
little.
shoe is a phone. It's Maxwell
That's what I'm
Smart.
saying. That's what I'm saying. You find a lot of moisture and maybe a bit of foot rot. Yeah, get smart. A little bit of foot rot, but you don't find any things.
And I check quickly for floorboards for hidden floorboard in here.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Wow, I'm getting like 1 frame a second here.
As you can see that.
What the hell happened there? Hello, Rosie.
15 plus 7 is 22.
And you're looking over the floorboards to see if that has a similar one in it.
Yep, I'm checking to see or yeah,
Odds or evens?
odds.
Much to your surprise, you find, in fact, another floorboard loose in much the similar location. Within it, as you pry up the lid, I'm assuming,
Yep.
within you find another egg-shaped stone with the same runic symbol upon it. Oh, sorry, actually, no, as a matter of fact. You wouldn't. My apologies. That is missing. In fact, we will say that it is empty.
Okay,
It is
that's reasonable.
it has it has a
That's
pair of
reasonable.
empty bottles inside.
Okay.
A pair of empty potion bottles with a bit of a sweet smell coming from them and some red thick residue at the bottom of the bottle.
I recognize it from the other stuff. Okay. I replace it. There you
Okay.
go. You're shifting layouts on us.
Sort of. Wow, that's really lagging out. That's weird. That's so weird. I wonder why it's doing that. Oh, okay. Zoom. Oh, it caught up. Never mind. We're good now. Sorry, where were we here? You close back up the
That's it.
floorboard?
Yeah, Brasman, you said you wanted to replace it? That's what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna replace it, put it all back, and squeeze it back down.
Cool. Done and done.
Perfect. And head downstairs.
Sounds good. You leave the chamber, heading downstairs as the wind whips against the curtains, a breeze blasting into the room behind you as you slowly, quietly shut the door.
I go and find Tomas.
You head back upstairs.
No, are we all
Yeah, we're
downstairs?
heading downstairs for food, I think.
Very
Yeah,
good.
heading down, all of us were heading downstairs for food.
You follow in with the rest of the crowd, who is now situated downstairs. As during this time you've been conducting your affairs, the rest of the crew would have already arrived at a table or maybe at the bar directly, I'm not sure. But the common area has 2 common tables, and they sit perpendicular to the back wall where there's the massive hearth. And then, of course, there's the main door. During off times, that is to say when dinner or lunch isn't being served, the tables are shoved to the side. You realize that they had them up against the wall earlier. With that in mind, the tables are now out on the floor, as I mentioned, perpendicular to the wall, and from the fire you can see dancing upon the several bowls of food laden out in a feast-like manner, with a pile of wooden platters at the far end. Quite literally a buffet laden out for dinner time.
grab food and a table. That's what I'm doing.
Tomas falls in step alongside the other guests of the place, queuing up, and a moment later falling down the line. There's a decent selection of different meats, vegetables, and whatnot. It all seems fresh enough. And at the very end, a flagon of wine, a flagon of milk, and several tankards.
Okay. I'll grab a tankard and grab a seat at our table.
As you pick up the clay earthenware tankard, you hearken back to the newspaper upstairs. There was a great deal of other articles there to read. So much going on in Erevel, you thought to yourself.
Is there a newspaper down here as well, or no?
You look around and throw me a perception check.
21.
There surely is.
Okay, I'll grab a paper. Can I look through and see if there's any secret codes at all? Like, is there are there like
Is there a notice?
Yeah, I noticed. Or like, is there are there
Passive
words like weird
bubble.
words that spell like a secret message or anything inside the paper at all? I don't know.
I'm just
Or mind
imagining
symbols. Or
Tomas
hand
ends up in a
symbols.
room with all these newspaper clippings around,
Yeah.
strings attached between them all.
Yeah.
It's like this! As you look over the paper
Kumar.
curiously, you can idly investigate it by all means. So go ahead and throw me that while you wait on food. Or sorry, as you munch away on your food, you're looking through this thing. The rest of you sit down aside him as he reads through the paper. Who does what, if anything?
It was like an 18 for investigation. So.
Terrific. You don't see anything, but you read through the paper all the same. And as you do so, you read about the war effort that was recently defunded, and the headline reads, what is it? Alliance falters? ? Is the North doomed? The article continues on talking about the northern frontier of Cormyr being contested by the North. There's threats from Thay! ! There's threats from the Zentarum! ! Though nobody will admit it, the Black Network still exists, still thrives! ! It goes on to talk about there was apparently an alliance of several nations that were funding an effort for Cormyr to push northerly. The details of this business association have been lost to the politics of the situation. The article continues to read. But
Does it name anybody?
it does in fact name general entities and the countries and so forth. The regions of the country. But it does not give you any. Actually, hold on. Bear with me for just a second whilst I dig out some names. Man, bear with me. I hadn't considered this for some reason. I really hadn't. Is that close? That's not even close. That's not close either. Alright.
I mean, while this is going on, Rez, did you find anything up in the room when you went to go check on Rothric?
I found an empty cache. remember the sweet smelling bottles we found in the wagon?
Yeah.
There were 2 empty bottles like that.
Did you grab one?
They're empty.
Oh, there's nothing in it at all.
Nothing in them.
Was there anything written on the underside of the plank like it was in our room?
It was the same, right, Dooley?
Say again. Yeah, it was the same, and in fact had on the bottom Dropbox 2. I suppose sensibly I should flip those around, eh? Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let's say that yours had 3 on it. Dropbox 3.
Okay.
Or maybe they don't even have numbers, actually. Why would they have a number?
Okay.
Cool. So the newspaper names off a newly arrived leader who was apparently trying to establish business relations. As you look back through, and it says the business relations were apparently started by a Harpel, a Dowell Harpel, a spokesman for the Harpel family. But
Have I heard about the Harpel family at all?
nah, it just seems like some royal nobles from up north. They're not even Cormyrian by the looks of it.
So he was gonna help Cormier push up into the north? Is that what he was doing?
According to the article, he was facilitating some business relations, and they fell through. Funding was withdrawn from the effort, and
Okay.
the north will not be as easily taken as a result. The plans were to rally. According to the article, the plans were to rally the troops together and fund a new effort towards taking the north for Cormyr, expanding north and establishing relations.
Do we know anything? Do we know anything about the nations in the north from Cormier? Like, do we know?
You know basics. You're not a geography buff, but you've heard stories. You've seen maps.
Okay, interesting. I'll relay that to everybody, and then just shrug.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that the only thing? Is that the only other article in the publishing?
As a matter of fact, no. As your food arrives and you guys begin to... as your food arrives and you guys continue eating upon... it talks about upcoming festivals and the funding that the various merchant guilds are putting forth. It talks about the race. It seems that it's taking place within the clergy between all the various merchant houses for the next Hand of the Lady. The article talks about new training regiments and equipment coming in for the Purple Dragons in town, and how it seems that they're upgrading their presence to better defend against the shadow of Arabelle, and it has that in quotations. There's a quick one-off that talks about the vandalism of the monument of the Warrior King. And there's a few opinions from some folks, one of which reads, "It's our only statue, and they go and take its wrists off. They take its hands off. Where's his sword?" Another comment says, "Simple enough." But outside of that, it's got a couple classifieds.
Okay. I'll tell them all about that as well. And then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we need to ask the barkeep for work. get him talking. What do you think?
I don't know who. Do you think it's the barkeep that? Do we? Okay. Question: do we want to seem like we want to work for the Iron Throne right now? Is that what we want? And then get in contact with them. And then, as we work for them, we try to figure out where they freaking put the platinum in. Is that what we're trying to do?
I'm just throwing out ideas. We don't have an information network. We need to start somewhere. Unless someone can shake some information down.
I think the platinum is going for this war effort that we just read that's being defunded. 10,000 platinum is a lot of money, a lot of coin to help fund something. So that's where it's going. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get it, guys. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find it before it's going to be used. So,
Doc, you're on mute.
Tomas, weren't you planning on talking to the bartender?
yeah, I can go talk to him. I can try to see. Do we want a way? Do we want to seem that we want to work with behind him? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know if we want to work or we want to infiltrate or.
No, that's what he's asking.
Well,
Is do you guys...
Yeah, that's what I'm asking right now. I'm asking as you guys as a party. I'm not the only one in this party. That I need you guys to make a decision for me. Because I had to ask him a question, and the question has to be in a certain phrasing.
I mean, I feel like I'm coming up from behind here from being out, so I really don't know what it is we're trying to get to. We're trying to figure out whether or not the platinum is here.
Yeah, so we had to figure. So are we trying to work for the Iron Throne and then get on the inside like that, and then try to find out where it's getting funneled, and then that's where we're gonna go to?
Well, I mean, how about just starting up chit chat about some of the stories in the newspaper and how things are going? I mean, isn't Rothric trying to catch up with people tomorrow?
Rothric isn't really a part of this anymore. Rothric is trying to save his hide. Rothric's getting assassinated by these men, or these people. So Rothric is gonna contact whoever and try to find a safe house or something like that. Rothric is GTFOing out of here.
Captain McDougal's.
Hello?
Is the blonde that was upstairs in the room?
No, but she's in the classifieds, it seems, as you're looking upon the paper. You can see Bouncing Betty the Blonde Elven Queen. Let me jump and bounce all over you, make your dreams cream.
Is there anything odd? Are there any out of place advertisements?
Well, that one seems pretty out of place with the rest of them. There's one here, laborers needed. There's another one, labor provided. Need us to pick up your lumber? We can do it. Call strong men. Summon the strong men, I should say.
Two guys with big hearts towing.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Two guys in a wagon with big hearts, that sort of thing. There's a slew of these sorts of classifieds listed there with various folks around Arabelle offering services. The place seems like there's no shortage of work or workers. Amidst the way, of course, you see a lot of things for sale. People hawking jewelry, people looking for lost jewelry.
Okay.
Your average classifieds.
So, fellas, I need you guys to make a decision. Unless you guys want me to make a decision for you all.
I think right now we're just looking for info. I mean, I don't think we're looking to join up anywhere.
Okay, I'm just gonna go up to the barman and say, "Sir, sorry, I didn't get your name. Forgive me. I'm Tomas Everhart, and you are."
Sir, you're talking to the barkeep?
Yeah.
Sorry, this music is totally wrong, eh? He says, my name is Levon.
Levon. Nice to meet you. Lovely establishment.
Yes, thank you. We take much pride in it.
I was just perusing the Arabella, and then it seems that you've had quite a 10-day. This has happened in the last 10 days.
He gives a nod of the head. Yeah, it come out every 10 day, but in last 10 day, he choke on the clay. He looks at you for a moment. And then say, when he drink the wine. You read of this?
Yeah, it seems very, very peculiar to me, personally.
Yeah. His Lady Luck punish him.
Oh. He deserved to be punished? I thought, I heard around that he was very well liked.
Some like, some not. I did not care. I go to temple. I come back. Lady Luck smile on me. I don't judge. People let their words get the better of them.
Well, I had some friends come here recently, and they told me that if I was looking for work, that I was supposed to put notice here for a certain group. I don't remember what the group was called, but they said that they paid well. So I was wondering if I put the notice with you and you let them know.
As you say this, the bouncer next to you looks over and then looks at the barkeep, and the barkeep looks down and then leans in and says, "You're looking for work, huh?"
Something like that.
He looks at your gear, looks at the rest of you, and looks over. Okay, you are looking for work. Perhaps we have work. He looks over towards the bouncer, gives a nod. The bouncer gets up quickly, looks over towards you, and then walks past, out into the rain.
I looked at all this and winked at him. Hopefully he gets what I'm thinking, and I just nudged my head towards the bouncer. If he gets what I mean, but if he doesn't, he doesn't.
Aldous looks at you and with mute on.
Just
Oh, there it is.
stare at him, and I tilt my head towards the bouncer too.
All right.
Okay, I'll just let it go.
You guys share a moment as the guy heads out the door.
I wish you knew what I meant. Oh god. Okay.
Telepathic channel, dude.
I don't have any telepathic stuff. Okay.
Aldous might. Metagaming.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I'll just say, will that take long, or will be arriving in the morning then? And we just, wait here.
You ask him, and he just blinks a bit as he's leaning back. He just blinks and looks down, picks up a glass. You be patient. Work will come. And he just polished away at the glass for a bit before putting it away and grabbing another one, stacking the
Also-
cleans off to the side.
My friends were talking about another place around here called the Bent Bow. I don't know really. They said that it'd be a place to stop by, but they didn't really give me any information about it. Do you know where that is?
Do you want the directions? Is that it?
Do you know what the Bent Bow is?
Yeah, it's drinking hole.
Ah. Okay. Is it near here? I'm not going tonight at all, but maybe tomorrow night. Maybe if this rain kind of goes through, something to celebrate.
He gives a nod. Yeah, it's down in southern area, huh? Towards the gate off to the side. You go down out this way, and he gives you a rough idea. It's down the main drag. You turn right, head towards the southwestern end of the city.
Okay. I nod and I will flip him a gold for his help.
He catches it, looking upon it. Okay.
Tomorrow,
He puts it.
tomorrow, and I say tomorrow, shine brightly on you, friend.
He tosses it in the box and gives a nod and takes it out. And you, friend.
Okay, I'll walk back to my party and say, well, we have a... we're getting work.
Work's always good.
So, I guess we're working together. Well, we can maybe stop by the clergy tomorrow to see what the hell is going on over there. Say, try to see what's going on at that end tomorrow. I don't know. He said that.
Sitting there,
Huh?
the next person that I see walk out, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Tomas," and just tilt my head.
And I just whispered to Aldous, I wanted you to send your stupid squirrel after the man.
You hear your little buddy chitter angrily at this, having understood that, having heard that.
Yeah. It would have been nice if we had someone to tell him and see where he went, but oh well.
Your little buddy stubbornly gets out, sitting on your shoulder, natters away, and points a little finger so angrily and adorably for a brief moment with a frizzy stuck-out tail, and then finally just leans against his head for a moment, kind of rubbing up against your ear, and then can't help himself and just starts rubbing harder against the side of your head.
Just like pet underneath his like chin in his ear area.
He can't help it, so he starts gnawing a little bit on your finger, and he actually he ends up getting that grout that was stuck under the nail. Anyway,
Shall we go to bed then?
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm tired. It's been a long journey. I'm sick of being wet.
I'll cast Prestidigitation on Victor to get him dry.
it helps. The hearth actually in this place has done an excellent job of drying you out. There's still quite a bit of moisture in your boots, but the prestidigitation quickly fixes that right up, and even freshens them a little bit, so that that foot rot that you were worried about isn't gonna set in. That's a-okay. But with that said, you guys are headed to bed. That was the idea. That's the plan. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific stuff. You do so. Excusing yourself from your table, your platters are cleaned up, and a lot of you find yourselves comfortably situated in bed. Is anybody keeping watch, or is everybody hitting the hay together?
Well, I'll tell Victor we should maybe cast. Well, Doc will know to let us know if.
Well, we've got the alarm on your room. Our
Yeah.
room has no such thing.
Yeah, your room doesn't have anything, so I don't know. If you guys want to keep watch, you guys can keep watch, but.
I'm not sure how you do the elf sleep thing. If it's
Yeah, you only need 4 hours. Yeah, you only need 4 hours, Aldous. So you could technically keep.
that's true, then I could just stay up, like reading my book, studying, and I'll be technically on watch.
That's cool.
Why does he
That-
only need 4?
Because he's an elf.
It's an elfin trait.
so with that said, it's about
Some DMs don't do it though; they just make you do the 8 hours.
as I was saying, it's about 2 hours into this long rest that Doc suddenly gets a ping as the door is being opened. You snap awake. You look up at the dark ceiling, your eyes adjusting ever so quickly. You've been here before, you know what to do, and before you even think, instinct takes over. You're on your feet, out of the bed, equipment in hand. Strap those belts, get the cloak on, out the door. Pitter patter, ever so quiet. Throw me stealth.
So I would see this though, right?
Yeah. You watch
Yeah,
as
then I'm-
you watch as Doc just bolts up out of bed and poof.
I'm following him.
You do so. Following him behind, do you do so stealthily?
It depends on if Doc looks like he's going stealthily.
Oh, he's looking.
Yeah, I am.
Then yeah,
He's a professional.
14 plus 4, I get 18.
Said it.
I scratch my butt and roll over.
You look.
15
Still asleep.
plus still plus 2, so 56, 17.
Not bad, not bad. All right. And Doc, you got 20.
You got 18.
Oh, you got 18. Oh, really? Fantastic.
Yeah.
The two of you in perfect tandem, like a well-oiled machine, pair off, the dynamic duo, heading out the door into the hallway, slipping down the hall. Towards the stairs, you secret around, easily creeping along to find the silhouette of the old man in the hallway, making his way towards the stairs, towards the first floor stairs. He looks over towards you as you stealth in, and not seeing you, continues down. He's got his robe on. You can see the rain still pounding outside as your eyes adjust to the darkness and you start to actually wake up. Looking upon the old man who hasn't seen you guys, he's continuing down the way. You continue to creep after him. Without too much issue, you follow along as he makes his way finally to just past the stairs, the bivvy. And he squats in there for a moment. You can hear him do his business. It seems to just be a number one. He eventually gets up, and he makes his way back out into the hall. Do you make yourself known, or do you slip away unnoticed?
I'm not planning on letting him know.
But you just watched him take a leak?
Stealthily watching
It's
it.
up, it's up to Aldous if he plans on saying something. I figured letting him know that that we're watching him probably isn't a good thing.
Nope.
So with that said, you guys pull yourselves out, retracting from the hallway, and head back up the stairs. Keeping ahead of him, you can hear him following along, complaining about his legs and hip to himself as he comes towards. God damn, man. There's one mosquito that's floating around here being an asshole. Steady as she goes, you come back towards the stairs leading upwards as he closes the distance on his doorway and heads back into his chamber. The door shuts, and you can hear him ruffle into his bed. You hear someone moan from a nearby bedroom, aside across the hall. Doesn't seem related to anything.
Shoot, I really wanted to listen for rumors. Or for conversation. And I forgot. Oh well.
With that said, the old man goes back to bed.
Alright, I'm going back to bed.
You do so.
Yep.
Aldous goes
Going
and
back to reading.
situates himself with his book once again. It's about half an hour later that the alarm goes off again.
Hey, Aldous, do you want to go check on that? I think the old man's up pissing again.
Doc suddenly spouts out from the corner in the darkness. You hear his voice carry across.
I'll go look. I'll only be stealthy when I hit their floor.
Okay, that's fair.
You want me to roll?
Yes, please. You double move your ass down.
That one is a 6 plus 2, so 8.
You more or less rush your way down the stairs, so you sound like thunder, or well, not like thunder. You're an elf. You sound like somebody rushing, and then when you finally do get down there, you kind of try to stealth, but you've kind of forgotten to stealth as you enter in upon, and he says, "Excuse me, I'm having a moment." And he's in the washroom there. He's doing his business, or he's in the bivvy once again, doing his business. I mean, do you just stand there watching him, or do you turn away, or what do you do?
This is the same old man?
Yeah, man, it's Roderick. He's having a moment. He's taking a piss.
Oh, it was
Having a moment.
Yeah,
Making love to himself.
I'm going
Well, you're not jerking it. He's fucking literally having a piss. He's an old man. You know, he's got to go. Sometimes multiple times a night.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend like I'm just walking I know I'm on the wrong floor. But pretend like I'm walking past, and I was just gonna say, yeah, I was looking for something to drink.
At this hour, he says.
Just some water.
He finally groans and you can hear a stream release. I couldn't quite, pardon me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take.
You hear
I'm
his
just
voice
gonna take
echo
off.
out from behind. There's like a saloon door that just closes in front with a bit of a latch on the inside. Not like a ton of privacy. I mean, if you
Yeah,
seal
I'm
it
just
in,
gonna
then the
say
smell
that,
lingers.
Keep moving. Let him say his piece and just move on. I'm gonna go downstairs, but I'm gonna like go back upstairs as soon as I get to the bottom.
Okay, you descend down towards the common room and find Levon is still attending bar, although he's at this point simply reading the newspaper and standing next to a stack of cleaned up tankards and glasses. You can actually smell and hear the beginnings of a breakfast being prepared. It smells like your average sausage and eggs being cooked up, despite the early hour. As you look out towards the window and as you look through the window towards the horizon and see that there's a little faint bit of light, and then turning around, make your way back up the stairs.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna head back to bed. Well,
You find yourself following in behind Roderick as he goes back to his room, settling into his bed. He closes the door behind him, and you can hear the sound of the bed rustling as he situates.
and then I'll go to the room for another half hour or so. And I'll rest.
All right, sounds good. You do so. Heading upstairs, you continue your watch, and that time passes relatively quickly as you continue to study your book. Before long, you kneel down, closing your eyes, and begin to focus yourself inwards, allowing your mind to drift and your body to rejuvenate. And about an hour after that, Doc, your alarm goes off again.
I guess it's my turn to get up and check on this guy.
Blearily, you rise from the cot and rise from the mattress, the straw mattress, and crossing the chamber. Once again, equipment, belt, strap, get the cloak on, boots, yeah, boots. Out the door, stealthy. I'm a professional. Okay, we're good. Fuck. Down the stairs you go, and yeah, okay. There's the old man. He's doing the thing. Okay. There he is, yeah. You start to wake up a little bit at this point as the grogginess washes away. Having been woken up for the second time, you can only imagine how he feels. He closes the distance on the staircase. I'm assuming you follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tracking in behind, he descends the stairs, making his way once again towards the bivvy.
Just making sure nobody's showing up for him, so I'm just gonna hang back and wait.
You do so. You hear something odd. You hear a scuttling, a shifting, a something, a pattering.
From the bivvy, or
No, the stairs. You can sense movement. Whatever it is. It's not big. It can be big. Otherwise it would make stepping noises. But it's skittering along on it's a cat. It comes round the corner, meowing with its tail flipping back and forth. And it rounds the corner and heads into the bivvy, and you hear Roderick say, "Ah, kitty!" After a moment, he gets up, redoes himself, and comes out of the bivvy, looking upon the hallway, looking around. Are you stealthed, or are you visible at this point?
no stealth. I'm not looking to make my presence known.
He looks around the chamber, doesn't see you as you're hidden away in the darkness, or maybe you're already retreating from the chamber. I'm not sure which you want to prefer. But he starts to return back and closes the distance on his chamber, going inside and going back to bed.
All right, I got to make a mental note to let Rez next time he's doing a wellness check to get in there and do a prostate exam.
Longest finger in, and anyways. Seems good.
Right.
Another few hours passes, and the light pierces through the window as the sun rises high enough to crest the city's walls, splashing across the window and invading your sleep.
No more rain?
There's still a light drizzle that is coming down, but there's actually sunlight. It's more of a sun shower at this point.
I'll wake up. I'll try to wake up Victor and see how that happened. What how he'll react. See what.
I'll probably already be up and I'll be downstairs.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. You and Roderick are situated in discussion for about a half an hour before everybody else stirs. Roderick, an early riser, and as well as yourself. He comes back from a brisk walk early in the morning. As
Good
you're,
morning, Roderick.
he bids you a nod and says, "And you? How did you sleep, sir?"
I slept fine, but I couldn't help but notice the door open and close quite a few times last night.
He just kind of stays quiet and looks down and then finally says, "Yes. my
Just making sure everything's okay.
my sleep was restless," he says.
I understand that.
I've already
How
made
was your
arrangements, and the walk was excellent. I've already made arrangements. I've sent runners out to my people. I've informed them of where I am, and we can expect to hear back by noon, if no later than noon, I should think.
You should still be careful around here.
Indeed.
After all, this is where things are being dropped off. So,
Now he just told everybody where he is.
so I recommend until you're taken care of, that you should at least have one of us by you.
He gives a nod at this. I assure you, my massive friend, your concern is not wasted.
Anyways, have you been to this establishment before? Do they have good breakfast? I'm kind of hungry.
As you ask him this, he looks over towards the tables. Yes, but I should think it will be a few hours yet before we have it available to us. One more reason to head out early in the morning. There are many various shops that you can find a bit of nosh at. Tell me, what is the next destination for your coterie after here? Where is it that you will all go next?
I figure anywhere that has the most money.
Indeed. Perhaps we might come to an arrangement, some sort of permanent employment.
That I can't really speak of without my party being here.
Of course, I understand.
But what do you
But know
have in
that the
mind?
offer's there, and we can speak of it with your party, he says.
Very well.
Any,
I'm gonna go to the barkeep and just ask for a light ale while I wait for the rest of my party to wake up.
Okay. As the barkeep brings it over, the camera pans against the mug that's placed down, foam and froth spilling over, as it crossfades against each of your companions, who slowly rise from their slumber and mill about, collecting themselves and their equipment, and making their way down the stairs.
As I come down, I'd like to stop at the bartender and ask if they have any vegetarian options. See if they have any like vegetable soup with no broth, or if they just have raw vegetables.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he totally does. He, at this, gives a nod and asks, what sort of vegetables is... Oh, sorry, what sort of vegetables is your lordship looking for?
If you have carrots or celery or some broccoli.
He gives a nod. Yeah. Okay. And he disappears for a moment and comes back with a platter of assorted vegetables as such. And he says, 3 copper, sir.
And I'll give him 4 copper.
He takes the 4 copper, drops 2 into the box, and takes the other 2 and actually puts them in a wooden cup next to the box, which has a bunch of other coinage in it. Or actually, it'll be a wooden cup in the same box even. So just the box has like a bunch of cups in it and then all the coinage. Anyway, so that's how he sorts the coins out.
With Victor.
Yeah. I'll make my way down, grab breakfast, sit down.
Very good. Breakfast is a simple bacon and eggs that is brought out. The bacon is slabbed and well fried. It looks like flame seared. It is tasty going down, and you're all taking 5 temporary hit points for a healthy breakfast.
Ooh, how much it cost?
It is 2 silver a plate.
Okay.
So for the 5 of you, it's a gold piece.
But that's not me.
Oh, that's true. Sorry, that's
Is
right.
that? Yeah.
My
I've
apologies.
got some flowers for you. Dandelions.
Really holding to that elf stereotype. Well on.
Do I see the bodyguard that went off last night in the...
As a matter of
yeah.
fact, you do. No, you do not. You see the other one is still there, and yeah. So as you guys are concluding your breakfast, Levant, the barkeep, leans in and says, "So you're still looking for work, huh? Yeah."
Depends on the work. Does it pay well?
Oh yeah, sure, it pay well. You do a good job, you make much monies.
Do I get to know what the job is before I take it?
Yeah, I don't give job. That is Thorbrand come through, have job. You wait, she come.
I
Eat,
will
drink. It's good morning, huh?
Okay. Do you know when she's coming?
Yeah, she come this morning.
Okay, then I will go back and I say, Crawford, you guys need to get the fuck out of here.
He looks around for a moment. Did he say that?
I did not think this through at all. I say, yeah, the Iron Throne might be coming here, so, yeah.
Roderick looks at you dead and square in the face, and gives a smirk and a bit of a laugh, and says, "Right, I'll take my leave then." And excusing himself with a bit of a nod and a side salute, he heads out the doorway and down the street.
I say, send your squirrel with him to all this.
And I'll send my squirrel with him to follow along.
The squirrel runs out, standing on your shoulder for a moment, looking over towards Tomas, gives him an adorable little bird, and then rushes down your body and heads out the doorway.
Okay. Well, I guess we wait for the woman to come. That's what Dalvin just said.
Should I go with Rothrick?
If you want, I guess. If you, I don't. I guess we can meet up at the church. Do we want to go over there to see what the hell's going on over there, or no?
The church or the Benpo?
The Benpo, I wouldn't. If we're doing it this way, then we can't go to the Benpo.
Oh, okay.
Now, refresh my memory. The bent boat, you are going there for...
The bent boat was mentioned in Laramis's note, saying that if he wanted to get contact with them, he had to go to the bent boat.
Here we go. I just saw it here. Terrific.
Yeah.
With that said, the
So, Victor, do you want to go with Rothric to guard him, just in case, or no? It's up to you, man. You technically still haven't gotten paid by Rothric yet, so that's if you if that's a motivation for Victor.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's fair. Did he promise you a specific amount?
I do not remember. Let me check my notes. I don't think I wrote down.
I think it was 100. If I remember correctly, it was 100 gold.
Yeah, and then he said he would give us more if he needed to.
That's
if
right.
there was
That's
a
right. And that's why he's
trouble.
been paying your expenses. So with that said, before he takes his leave, he will fish out 100 coin from the bag, put it down on the counter, and you watch as he expertly does this, stacking the coinage, like somebody who just plays with money, you might say. But anyway, he scoops it out and he easily just stacks it between his fingers. Pop, pop, pop. A couple piles of 10 gold placed down that you can easily count off. He piles out 10 piles of 10. He piles out five columns of 20 coins apiece, and then grabs a fistful of extra stuff and just spills it out onto the table next to it, just assorted coins. And he ties off the end of the sack and he says, "That should about cover it. If I don't hear from you again..." And he gives a nod and a side salute, as I was saying, and leaves. So you guys do get paid.
Rothric, before you go, what was the job that you had offered me this morning?
He stops and he looks over towards you and he says, "A shame, my mountainous friend. There doesn't seem to be time for negotiations at the moment. Until then..." And he gives a nod again and excuses himself without another word.
I'll run out and ask outside, and before he finally leaves, I'm gonna ask if he wants me to
Accompany
take care
him?
or follow him to where his people are.
He closes in on you, looking you up and down, and he says, "You've already been paid, man. We'd have to negotiate a new contract if you were to follow along as a bodyguard. Or would you simply be coming along in trust that I would remunerate you for your time?"
I just figured, while in the city, you probably shouldn't be left alone, so just taking you to your people. If you want to give me some gold, that's up to you, but I'm just asking if you wanted.
How altruistic of you, my mountainous friend. Still, it would be foolish of me to think that, as an old man, I would have a chance. Sure, of course, certainly. You may come with. I would appreciate the accompaniment. Let's not tarry then. It is to Deacon's office. Will be away.
I'll just go to the door and I'll give them a thumbs up, and we'll go to wherever he's going.
The camera pans down the street, dollying backwards from the Nine Fires sweeping staircase as Rothric descends downwards, and it shows you at a distant clip giving the thumbs up in through the doorway before you rush down the stairs and chase after Rothric. The two of you make your way distantly off to the left side of the camera frame as it pans against the inn, crossfading back inside to show the lot of you as it flips around 180 degrees, showing you guys from inside the inn and showing the street outside, with Rothric and the Barbarian visible on the far right. We can see on the left this time a few individuals arriving on horseback. Among them is a leather-bound fellow with a metal helmet and a buckler shield strapped to his back. There's a pair of swords strapped to his horse, but he doesn't seem to be carrying anything more than a dagger in his boot. The other individuals alongside seem to be they're armed but simply dressed in leathers, and upon them they don't seem to have any markings. They don't match in any fashion. Their leather armor is of different distinct cuts and styles, but clearly of both the same Cormyrean origin. That said, they approach, strapping their horses. After they've dismounted, their horses begin to drink as they approach upon the doorway. The two guys, dressed in leathers, lightly armed, hang out outside as the fellow in lead enters upon, pushing the door to the one side as he enters into the common space. He looks upon Levon at the bar and approaches, looking at the lot of you and the other few guests in the room. Levon makes a bit of a sweeping gesture, and the man who's arrived takes the metal helmet off his head, puts it under his arm, and unloads a long black mane of hair curling up as a black river. He looks over at towards. He's got silvered shoulder pauldrons as well, with scuff marks all over them. Not just decorative, but also well used. The man's armor is well styled and stitched leather, much of it black with bits of brown trim. He's got gold buckles holding his gear together, and he's clean shaven with a slender face on a robust body. As he tucks his helmet under his arm, he looks over towards and says, "My name is Mr. Burgess."
Good morning.
Good morning. He places his helmet on the countertop, and he looks towards Levon, and Levon puts out actually a full flagon of wine, and he picks it up and he says, "I love the eggs and the sausage. I smell that. That's fantastic." He pulls the flagon up and he hands it towards you guys. Who takes it?
I'll grab it, I guess.
Send the cups into the back then. And he gives a head tilt. Much the same as you guys were tilting your heads at one another, he gives a head tilt towards the stairs.
I gesture him to lead on.
You have a room then, do you not?
Yes?
Which one is it?
Do you prefer the third floor or the second?
If we've had the option, I'll take a view.
Yeah, go to the third floor.
As you guys head up, there is as you guys head up, the reflection of the party dances in the visage of Tamora as you close the distance upon the doorway to your room. Opening it up, you all enter in. He looks at you as the flagon is set down, and oops, sorry, bear with me. No, this thing's not playing ball with me. Oh, there it is. Where'd you go? There. Hey, right on. Got there. As we were saying.
Is it just him by himself that followed us? Are we just with him by... Or did his men follow him up here as well?
His men are hanging out downstairs.
Okay.
He heads upstairs with you guys. And entering into the chamber, he looks around, gives a nod, and situates himself at the far end, sitting upon the bed.
So, Mr. Burgess.
He gives a nod and he makes a quick gesture, and Tomas can make me a wisdom save.
Great.
16 or better, please.
Fucking hell. My wisdom shit, guys.
Is it seriously?
Yeah, it's only a +1, so.
Oh, my big boy.
Oh, my friends, I got a 13.
Oh. I'll be right back. One sec, guys.
That can't be good.
I don't know what it is. God damn it. I was gonna cast suggestion on him too. I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
Suggestion.
Oh, it might be suggestion too. He might be a bard as well.
He might think you're pretty too.
Because I was gonna suggest like I could suggest if I can do it. 16 or better. Whoa. His DC is high, my friends. It's like a level what? Level 5 at least.
What's his DC? What's DC?
Difficulty class.
One of these days, I'm actually going to download and read the books. You know, I think I'm going to do that now.
So much nicer having like physical copies though.
Mm.
I love Dead Tree, but I really love being able to search. Holy crap, I've got this wicked headache that keeps just jumping up.
Yeah, me too.
Like in the frontal cortex, like in the front left.
A tension headache problem in the back of my neck. I slept wrong last night, so.
I've been throwing acupuncture needles into my neck, but it's not helping.
And nobody from the ham got away from us back in Weymouth, right? At the hospital.
Those weren't even a part. They weren't even a part of the.
Yes, they.
The throne.
The ones on the horizon, remember?
Yeah, they were. I don't know who they were. So.
So the question right now is whether or not they recognize us.
I really need to make a spyglass. I really need to make a spyglass.
Hopefully I made the right choice following Rothric.
Yeah, you don't really have to. Like honestly, we could have turned on Rothric and handed him over as money leverage if we wanted to. I was thinking of doing that if we were that evil. So technically, we served our purpose.
See, that's the only thing that drives me crazy about D&D, or the major thing that drives me crazy is the whole alignment thing. Like,
no, you just say you're just true neutral, then it's like either or.
True neutral, you're supposed to have balance or whatever. Neutral,
Yeah,
but
balance.
balance.
Your balance is you've got him here. Your unbalance is you stab him in the back because you for this.
Yeah.
I got a 12 DC, 12 wisdom save, DM.
Oh, Dooley's back.
Yo, you got a 12, sorry?
Yep.
Okay.
I ain't no cleric. Or
Sorry. Mine's off track. Where were we? Sorry.
I had to do a DC wisdom save.
Right.
DC.
Thank you. Okay, so he makes a quick gesture, and he says, "Excellent." And he says, "A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Everhart."
Did I give him my last name?
No, you didn't even tell him your first name.
I blink and say, "Who are you?"
He says, as I said, my name is Mr. Burgess. My affiliation, as one might put it, is to the city of Arabelle, first and foremost, and moreover to one of the merchant guilds here in this city. I am a service provider, a consultant, and at times a bit of a mercenary, as might be evident from my dress. I'm sure you're no stranger to the lifestyle. And he kind of squints as he looks at you and looks across at the rest of you, and he's looking for something as he scans upon you. And then he looks back.
Did I recognize the sigils he drew for the spell he did to me, or no?
You're not proficient in Arcanic,
No.
but Resvin or Aldous, you guys could throw Arcanic, possibly, to notice. What's your passive perception, though, is my question.
They're both 13, I'm pretty sure, right?
Okay, that's good enough, as long as it's over
Yeah, my
12.
passive is 13.
My
Terrific stuff.
passive investigation, 17 though.
I have a 15 on passive perception.
But you're not proficient in Arcanic, are you?
Not in Arcanic, though, no.
No.
Might be a rogue, my friend.
For Arcana, I have +5 with a 19.
Get it?
Okay. You easily
Oh, 20 with a +7.
read the semantics as sorry, one sec.
My first natural 20 with my metal die.
Nice.
Went back to physical, that's why.
Yeah.
You easily noticed that when he made the gesture, he had against his thumb a small copper coin. And while at first you weren't sure if it meant anything, you realized that he was casting some. Sorry, just had the screw there. He was casting out. Oh my god, why does this thing not have the. Doesn't have the school listed here. Oh, there it is. Bloody hell. You recognize it as a form of divination from the gesture, pointing up towards the divines and cresting about to show the circle of. You're not sure if it was godly related, but as he's situated there, detecting what's on your mind, he's clearly picked up the surface thoughts of what you might be thinking.
Okay. Do you work for... what merchant guild do you work for, if I may ask?
The question is, who are you not willing to work for? He squints at you. Hunters that you are, it seems odd that you would want to work for a guild in Arabelle, of all things. Do you not have enough work from the dragons?
Our friend Lermus pointed towards you. That's why.
I see. So you are aiming to expand, perhaps. Delve into a different part of the sector, moving out of public service and more into the private, is it?
If you say so, my friend.
I should warn, it is not the same sort of work as you might be accustomed to. He looks around the room as a fly seems to have buzzed through the window. It is a bit different in scope. Surely nothing you can't handle. He looks against all of you and out towards the window. I'm sure, experts that you are, you'll do marvelously. But I worry about the moral implications that it may have upon. You see, we are very profit-driven. Trade is important. Trade must flow in Arabelle, and that is what we seek to achieve here. Morals don't necessarily come into play Do you understand? He scrutinizes as he watches your facial expressions, and you can see that he's focusing very intently upon you, scrutinizing not just your emotions.
Well, we're hunters. We can be bought. It's just you have to be plain with us. So, who are you working for?
He thinks about it for a moment, and then simply says, I work for the throne. The camera pans against each of your faces for a moment to show the reflection of him in each of your eyes. And he simply sits there, stoic, on the bed, as the camera dollies in upon his face, zooming in to show his stark, slim features framed with massive mounds of a black mane and hair.
So, you deal with finances then?
Yes, one could say that.
So what is the job that you would like us to do?
He gets up from the bed, and standing straight up, he straightens out his leathers some, pulling down the bits and standing straight, his pauldrons gleaming, as he says, the job will be to arrive at the river's dock side. As you might be aware, there is a dock here in Arabelle that will lead north and south along the Starwater River. When the rains finally subside, we will need some muscle to protect a shipment. Be there, come with, do a good job. You will be summarily paid, handsomely. And, of course, have built credibility within our society as trustworthy individuals. There will be others, so if you get any bright ideas that you will be doing something, I can't even imagine what. But a lot of you can come along. Armed as you are is best. Bring the kiddies, he says.
You want us to do this today?
No, it is still raiding.
No.
And it seems that fate plays against us, he says idly. And then he focuses himself and looks towards you guys again. As he does this, he simply nods and states, will there be any questions?
What is your group's goal?
Gotcha, you little fucker.
What is the throne's goal in all this?
The Iron Throne is an ancient organization. Well, the Iron Throne... Actually, I'll redact that. He says, the Iron Throne is an old and honorable organization. We seek to maintain the balance and order across the great country that is Cormyr. We manage the finances of war, aim to strike that balance that no side may become too powerful, no side become too monopolized on the spoils of war.
Oh, so they're war profiteers. I got it.
I take out the copy of the Arabellan and I show him the front page. Was that your handiwork?
No. He immediately says so and resolutely states it.
Insight check and see.
Yeah, that's fine. Your passive insight immediately tells you that he's honest and upfront about it.
Okay.
But you can feel free to roll it. It's fine.
It's a 15. So it's what my passive is.
Okay, here goes my deception roll. So, point being, you can tell he's being very, very direct about it. He simply stares at it and says, "It was a shame. The power vacuum has been complicated, is my understanding."
So you think this was an accident?
He gives a smile at this, and he reaches under his armor and grips a small golden coin on a chain and says, "There are no accidents."
So who's the interested party that made sure all the glasses were broken?
He gives a smirk at this and just shakes his head. "Our Lady works in grand and mysterious ways, and if you are asking my opinion as a citizen of this grand city, I say that Our Lady has a sense of humor." And he simply stares ahead, and you can see he's just in reverence at the moment. But then he focuses himself and lets go of the medallion in his grasp and returns to his stoic soldier posture once again. Gone is the heartfelt, devout man of Tamora, and now stands again the resolute member of the throne, a soldier of the Iron Throne. As he stands amidst you, he says, "That is all I am permitted to say upon the matter. If there's no other questions, I'll take my leave."
There's one other question, actually.
He looks towards you.
There's let slip something very important, and that's why we're here. To really get him checked out. He's talking about the platinum.
As you say this, there's a bit of a reaction in his face as you watch his eyes tick, and he refocuses, and he says, "That is an excellent tip. Thank you for that." He gives a nod at this and walks past you out of the chamber.
Okay.
So we got work for after the rain stops,
Yeah.
and then we know that it wasn't the Iron Throne, or at least he didn't imply that it was the Iron Throne that killed the Hand.
Yeah, well, he didn't kill the guy. Yeah. Lothar, or whatever it's
But
called.
obviously somebody else in town did. It seems like everyone kind of is in on the gag.
Yeah. Well, we got. Well, I don't know. I got us in a little bit with the tip with Laramis. Even though we know he's dead, but they don't know he's dead. So that's.
Anybody feel like they need to come to Jesus moment? Want to go check out the temple?
We should wait for Victor to come back. Wait until he gets back.
On cue, the camera crossfades to show Victor and Roderick coming towards a large marble structure. Marble, stone, timber, all the materials of the rainbow. As you're headed towards it, you can see through the tall 2-story windows of this massive 3-story structure the silhouettes of individuals wrestling, to your surprise. As you're approaching up the set of stairs that lead up to the balcony, area, there's a pair of stately windows on either side of the entryway. If you imagine the White House, it kind of looks like the White House just like squashed up. But anyhow, as you there's no bunker, but as you maybe there's a bunker, I don't know. As you guys enter in upon, Roderick gives a nod towards the attendant man that stands at the doorway, and then a secondary nod to the opposite side. Now you see the attendant easily enough as you guys are walking in, but what you didn't immediately notice was the pair of scantily clad, weapon-bearing ladies standing to the other side. Just beyond a bit of a veil in a dark alcove. They sit with a pair of spears at either side of the chamber, ready for action. You can see a small weapons rack behind them as well, with a few swords and a pair of shields. As you enter and pass, there's a podium with a box upon it and another attendant, and across from him, another set of another pair of attendants and a bunch of shelving, upon which sit a bunch of linens and some puffy cloth stuff that looks like sheep's wool layered and folded. As Roderick walks in upon, he begins to disrobe, taking his tunic off. You start to sense a warmth coming from beyond the next chamber. Beyond the chamber through the next doorway. The next set of doors leading to the next chamber of this place. There's a set of stairs leading upwards to the left, leading up to the area where you saw the wrestling taking place. And there's a set of 2-story doors, story and a half doors, if you will, leading into the next area that you can feel a warmth radiating from. Moreover, there's a set of stairs leading down off to the right, ending in a small door. With that said, there's plenty of light coming in to this area naturally, but they've still got a bunch of torches flickering about for that added bit of elegance, if you will. And Roderick, as I said, he begins to disrobe and he hands his tunic off to one of the attendants, who dutifully takes it. Roderick begins to strip off his breeches, getting right down to all that the gods gave him, and reaches out for one of the puffy cloths. This music is weird. Not good. Not good. Stops that. As it were. Takes one of the pieces of puffy cloth that he wraps himself around, and he says, "Terry cloth." There's like a cloud to wrap that in oneself in. And so he wraps himself in a towel and walks towards the double doors, but not without stopping and turning around and looking at you, expecting you to do something.
So is this where you're going to be for the rest of the day, or are you planning on going back to the...
I am meeting Deacon here.
Okay. Where will we be able to get into contact with you again?
Are you not coming in?
No, I said I was going to bring you to wherever you need to go, and then I was going to be heading back to my party.
He gives a nod at this. Right.
He's meeting Dick in there, is what he's actually saying.
He gives a nod at this and says, "Then I will catch up with you and your coterie at some point, perhaps."
Okay then. I turn around and I leave. I head back to the...
Alright.
Yeah.
That music is just the wrong music. You make your way back towards the tavern. Coming to the Nine Fires easily enough, you arrive upon your companions situated inside. As you come towards the place, you see them situated at the bar. The morning is proceeding, light baking down from above, the rain still continuing unabated, despite the sunlight piercing through the clouds, hot.
We have a job after the rain goes down.
What job is that?
We were supposed to go to the docks and help with a shipment of surplus.
Did you say we were taking the ship too?
No, we just have to make sure the shipment gets to land, I think. That was all. He said there would be others that would probably extend it to us. So we have that when the rain goes down, but we're kind of lazing it out. He said that they had nothing to do with the hand of the lady dying. So I didn't know if you wanted to go check out that, or really just kind of in a standstill until the rain goes away. So we can just make our way around town and see what's going on. I need to go to the tailor anyways to look at my leather armor to get this finished up. Stupid man with his stupid rules.
I'd like to find an enchanter, possibly.
Okay.
We have time.
So I'll go up to Levon and say, is there an enchanter or someone with magical abilities that is around here in Arabelle?
Luvon looks upon you as you ask this and kind of gives a shrug and a shake of his head.
Okay. A tailor? Or
He gives
someone who does work?
He gives a nod at this. Yeah, my brother, he is tailor. He does good work.
Yeah, I need him to. Can he finish this up? I show him my standard leather armor. I got this in a rush job, so is he able to finish this up?
He is not armorer. He do breeches. He do my tunic.
Okay. So do you have somebody you know that does leather armor then?
He just gives another shake of his head and a shrug. Sorry, perhaps you go to market, walk about, find leather tanner
Okay.
man.
Thank you. Well, thank you for helping us get in contact.
Any person in the bar area?
Sorry, say again.
Are any of the security guys in the bar area? The guys that are working
The other bouncer is hanging out.
there? Maybe a better choice to walk over to him and say, hey, listen, we're looking to have my buddy's armor repaired or finished here. You guys have someone you use in town?
That we do. Every time I have a bit of a thing to patch up there by metal leather, you say. Yeah, if you head down, Russo's is good. He's about 3 streets that way. You can have him stitch it together. He does good work. A bit pricey, but does good work.
I'll say, I guess you guys want to go through town, and might as well we can just travel. We can look around the city. We can't do anything unless the weather's clear.
I mean, I'm up for a walk. If we are traveling though, I'm definitely going to be, as usual, keeping the light hand out. And I know I'd like to find a forger's kit, and I think I'd also probably want to pick up a studded leather. But we can discuss that when we get to the guy with Thomas.
Okay. So I guess we're heading to Rousseau's, and then hopefully looking around town and seeing if there's. I guess I want to look around town and see if there's any sign. Like, we know that Iron Throne is here, so I guess I'm looking out for like anything that's suspicious with my background. If I notice anybody, like maybe like if they have people tailing us. How about that? See if they have people watching us.
So you're trying to discern this from what?
Just like as we walk through town.
Okay,
like,
fair
as
enough.
we're walking to see if I see anybody tailing us or anything like that.
You can. I mean, it's your call if you want to throw insight or perception on this.
Perception. Where are you? It's a 19.
As you guys are making your way over towards the tailor's shop, this is the lot of you, right? Like, you guys are all walking together as a big group.
Yeah.
It's easy to see. It is easy to see that everybody is looking towards you, or a lot of people are looking towards you guys because you kind of stick out. As you make your way through the city streets, this place is thick with people on both sides. It's literally 2 lanes of traffic, one going opposite the other, and it's all sorts of stuff. This is a frontier mining town. As you're walking through these city streets, you can see bunches of the purple dragons walking together, squads of 3 to 5 soldiers patrolling the up and down the city streets. You can see there's various sorts of citizenry. Most of them laborers, a lot of them miners, many merchant sorts of looking fellows milling their way through. The place is busy, and you guys, amidst it all, still manage to stick out. Never mind the mountains of mountainous men that you have amidst you, but the way that you're dressed and geared up just clearly makes you guys, adventurers, mercenaries. Certainly not purple dragons, though. Definitely something else. And that all said, as you guys make your way through the city streets, you absolutely have people's attention here and there as they look towards you or get out of your way, and etc. At one point, as you guys are making your way, there's a fella who's leading his donkey along, and the thing's got a bunch of ore and actually, you know what? It's a bunch of rotted vegetables and refuse that he's carting along, and it stinks like shit, and it's got a berth of about 3 feet on either side, and he's coming through the crowd, and people are separating as he comes directly towards you guys.
I will step aside.
The donkey takes a look at the Goliath and suddenly brays, and odds or evens. I don't care who says
odds. Or evens, or
evens.
Evens.
I prepped. I prepped.
The donkey freezes, scared shitless of the mountain of muscle. The man sits there tugging away. Come on, you bloody... Come on, what are you doing as you guys make your way past him? Eventually...
Am I able to lift anything in passing?
Sorry?
Am I able to lift anything in passing? I mean, is this just blocks of ore? It's just rocks? Or...
Sorry, no, I redacted that. It's refuse, vegetable leavings, and scooped
No.
shit, and all
I
sorts
don't need rotten shit, yeah.
And on the side of the wagon, it's got Hidego's discount fertilizer. So anyhow, as you keep passing by, making your way towards, eventually you do come up the street and you see many different placards. You pass a fish store, oddly enough. There's quite a few of these that you can see. And coming towards, you see the...
car. It's in here.
You made a card?
For her. And it's in here.
Cool. Very cool, dude.
It said happy birthday and I have an I love you Ariana. That says to Ariana from Saul.
That's gonna be awesome. Where was I? Sorry.
We're making way to Russo's right now.
Right, coming upon, you can see the placard there. Simply enough, it's got a needle and thread outside, and the shop is called the Golden Stitch.
I'll go in.
You head inside. The door swings open on well-oiled hinges, revealing a space that smells thickly of fabric, clean fabrics, and leather.
Is there
You enter upon to see the table at the back nestled against several shelves that have various bits of leather assembly, many of them finished, some of them not. You come upon a few forms bordering the far wall, and finally turn to see the counter where an individual is hunched over, looking up from their work. The face of a middle-aged woman presents itself, and she looks up from the thick needle spike that she's pulling through a sheet of skin. And as she finishes that, she says, "One moment," and then puts it down.
Skin?
It looks some sort of hide. You would probably guess leather of some sort. Probably cow.
Not like a humanoid.
No, it's most likely bovine. You think to yourself, most likely. But with that, she sets it to the side and then dusts herself, looking towards you. What can I help you with?
Hi. I was wondering if I could get. I gestured to my studded leather armor. This
Ah, yeah.
finished.
I see
studded
this.
leather.
Yes, of course.
It was a rush job. I ordered it, and then the man.
What
said
did you
that he
need
couldn't get
done?
it.
What did you need done? What did you need done?
The stud. I pull out the studs that he was supposed to do, and then I also gestured to the spot where the leather is sticking out.
I see.
And
Well, are you gonna leave it with me, or do you expect me to work on it while you're wearing it?
no, I can give it to you. I take off.
It'll be 20 gold, sir.
That's fine. Can you get it? Will be ready tomorrow, or how long would I have to wait?
She looks over at the sheet that she's got, looking back towards it. I suppose I could put it together for you for tomorrow, yes.
Thank you.
Not at all, my lordship. Will you be paying up front?
Yep. I just
Very good, sir. She
20 gold.
hands off the gold and places it in a box behind her counter, snapping it shut a moment later.
And then I put on my regular leather armor instead of.
Good stuff.
Then I looked at Doc. Doc, you wanted to buy something here? Did she have
Yeah,
it?
I was gonna wonder what it would take. I mean, I don't know what your as an aside, what your process was last time. Is this something that has to be custom, or do you have?
No, you just ask if you have. Do you have any studded leather armor that my friend could buy here?
She
Similar
looks
to mine.
towards. She looks at Doc, looks you up and down. She gives a nod after a moment and points towards a shelf where you look and see. There's in fact 2 suits, complete with gloves, boots, tunic, greaves, pauldrons, and a helmet of sorts.
And the price tag on this one says.
It looks to be 234 gold pieces for
Whoa,
a
I got mine for
studded
cheap.
leather suit of armor. But as you look upon this masterwork unit, you realize it's +1 in quality.
Ooh, that's good, Doc.
Yeah, I could be
You
down for
rich,
this, but
you rich right now. You've been stealing so much. Spend it.
Put it on layaway.
Nice.
Yeah,
do you
it was
want me to try to bargain it down for you? Or?
yeah, I figure between the combination of work, I mean,
If my friend took that thing off you right now, could you lower the price for us, miss?
She looks at you and then looks towards the armor on the shelf and gives a shake of her head. No, I'm afraid not. That's quite literally the price of the materials and the time I've spent, my lordship, and I'll thank you to not ask me to lower my prices any further.
Now I'm wishing we killed the bears.
The hides would be worthwhile, truth be.
Yeah.
I
got nothing to trade for her.
I think it's worth it. I think I'll pick it up.
Yeah, that's +1 for you. Your AC would go to 15 at least, I think. Yeah, I'd go to like 15.
So now I have to go to armor.
So find studded leather armor +1.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. How the hell do I find that?
If you go to manage equipment and just write,
All right, equipment, manage equipment, and then type in studded leather armor.
yeah.
Cast off armor, studded leather, smoldering armor, studded leather.
It's like right at the bottom of the blue ones.
At the bottom of the blue ones. Oh, studded leather armor +1. Okay, there we go.
And then just give her the gold and you're good.
All right, you said 234.
234 gold, sir.
All right.
As you start stacking up the gold, she doesn't really react, but she continues to pull out some tools and lay down Tomas's studded leather unit, stacking the studs to the one side and preparing a separate spike. As sorry, go ahead.
I looked at Bresvin all this. Do you guys want anything here? Or...
Do you happen to have any studded leather armor in my size?
She looks at you for a moment, and then just slowly shakes her head. I'm desperately sorry, my lordship. I do not.
Oh, that's fine. I understand. Do you happen to know of an enchanter around these parts?
Begging your apologies, my lordship, but outside of the temple itself, no, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for your walk. I will see you in the morning. And I head out.
You do so.
Well...
So the place is thick with people. Doc, looking around, doesn't see a lot of pouches of any thickness or value. It seems like a lot of these guys are just headed to work or schlubs, moving shit around, so they don't really carry any valuables from the side of things. The occasional merchant that you see is accompanied by the occasional guard as well. And with all the purple dragons around, you think to yourself that reward versus risk in this place is severely imbalanced. With long, tight corridors of street and little in the way of alleys that you can see. If you were to get caught sliding somebody's pouch,
Yeah, it makes sense.
could be difficult. This is
Yeah,
your
my-
insight speaking to you. I mean, there's always risk that you want to take versus risk, etc. But anyway.
No, this is not. I mean, there are other times to risk doing that. This is more just a passing fancy. You said there's not a whole lot of alleyways. It doesn't seem like the kind of place that's going to have shops with particular things for my trade. Namely looking for a forger's kit in case we have to make use of those letters. We have to pick up
So
off
you can
the,
absolutely throw investigation to find a specialty shop.
Sure. Investigation. It is terrible. It's 3 + 3, so a grand total of 6.
You happen upon. You know what? Odds or evens?
Odds.
Wow. Tamora be with you.
Oh, we got 3 in a row?
This is
Whoa.
3 in a row. Dead serious. And I love the theme of the City of Luck. But anyway, so you happen to find a small pawn shop nestled between a fish market and sorry, one moment. A fish market and a tea shop, as a matter of fact. The smell is fucking weird. As you come towards you can see the placard sitting there. It's got the 3 balls situated with the 2 alongside the one lower. And it's got a stylized G placed within. As you enter in, a bell is flung, or a bell is triggered that goes twang to announce your entry. And crossing a musty space of several shelves littered with various bric-a-brac. You see the counter at the back with a singular fellow who is currently throwing a dagger at a target at the far wall.
How are you doing?
He looks towards you as you come in. Good governor. He's got a slender face, slender body. He is half elven, clearly, with sandy blonde hair, short and cropped, and a decent tunic. Behind him, you can see there's a small warehouse of varied things. Some in crates, some not. There's swords, axes, shields, suits of armor. There looks to be a horse barding. There's a rowboat, a little dinghy leaning up against the wall, and a pair of paddles aside it. There's multiple fishing rods lining the place. You can see reels of line of various thickness. He looks you up and down. I'm supposing you're not here for bait, sir.
No, actually, I'm looking for a writing kit. I have a little bit of practice to do on my handwriting. Well, not necessarily my handwriting, but handwriting nonetheless.
He looks you up and down and gives a nod. I think I know what you mean, sir. And he gives a little bit of one of these as he looks towards you, pulling a bit of thieves' cant out, saying, looking to explore some options.
Yeah, I have.
One
I
moment,
have
sir.
some word letters to write down.
Of course. And he gets himself up off his stool and he crosses the way and he produces a moment later a small box with a range of different inks and quills, and then he pulls out another box that has a bunch of seals. And as he opens up the lid, you can see within the seals, and you can't help but just kind of draw a bit of a gasp as you see some of the seals that he's got here. The price tags on them are insane, but they are well-forged Royal House seals, Merchant Guild seals.
How much for the basic kit?
You don't get the seals, but if you want the forging kit, it's 250 gold, and we include these parchments, and he unfolds the little parchment and says, "We've documented the strokes." I did it.
Oh, we've got some pretty good examples to work from. I'm only looking for the kit.
Well, it comes with the parchment whether you want it or not. Price is the price. What are you using this for? If you want a discount, maybe you let me in on something.
Just practice. But I think we're good for the moment. But I'll keep your shop in mind.
I look around the shop. Is there anything that like looks magical or anything like that? Is there anything like that looks really?
To be honest, as you look around the place, you kind of get the sense that this is all junk for a reason. Otherwise, I mean, some of the practical stuff is practical. The shelves, for the most part, are just littered with tools. I shouldn't call it junk. You know what? No, it's pretty legit looking. It's tools, like saws, axes, hammers. There's like a bin of fasteners. There's a pile of lumber there that's wrapped together, and it's got a parchment. Good framing lumber. Like, it's a medieval pawn shop. You have to think, what are these guys going to be pawning? There's a stack of horseshoes of various sizes and shapes.
Okay.
Right, what is the platinum's worth? What, 10 gold, right?
Yeah. I don't think we need the forger's kit right now, Doc.
No, I was just getting a look at it.
Well, you might get if we do the job. Then
Do you want to try to talk him down? Like, you got to make a dice roll on this.
No, I'm not. I'm not in a position at it right now. I put enough into the studded leather, knowing that we might be coming up on something right now.
That's fair.
I'm used to forger's kit, but
What's book value on a forger's kit?
I think book value is like 15.
Okay. You know what? Maybe 250 is a bit dear then.
Is forger.
Because in my mind, this is a forging. He, you know what? He clarifies with you. Let me ask you a question, Governor. What sort of forging kit are you looking for? Because, in truth, if you're just looking for a bit of quill and ink, you don't need me for anything. But if you're looking to carve sigils and what, then... And he grabs out a few bits of the 250 gold kit, and he separates them out, giving you the basics, so to speak, and he says, I can part with this for 30. That's high quality edge upon that
20.
engraver there.
I say 20.
That's high
The
quality. That engraver there is made of obsidian. It'll never chip, never crack. Never.
I don't believe you because your store is full of shit.
He looks around. These good, hard-working men of the Arabelle city, they come through here every day looking for bits and pieces that they need to build this wonderful place. And to tell you, good sir, This may seem like crap to you, but one man's junk is another man's treasure. Now, as far as this goes here, maybe we can cut something out. 30 gold, I'll let you have the engraver, a bit of soft metal, and I'll hold on to the parchments if you have your own examples. We'll go from there.
I'll do 30 for the set. We'll come back and discuss the rest.
He agrees.
Cool. You got a forger's kit. Can you use a forgery? Are you proficient in forgery, Doc?
So you have a bunch of blank stamps and an engraving kit. So like basically it's a thing to hold the stamp while you engrave it, and a bit of a magnifying lens that attaches to the apparatus. It all folds together nice and neat, the lens tucking into the holster.
Do we want to go to the church today? Just to check it out, or are we just gonna go back to bed? Just laze around for the day.
Well, I think we kind of we might as well swing by anyway. We've been getting a little bit of luck while we've been here. Might as well pay it back.
As you guys are assembling in the street outside the tailor's, Resvin, Aldous, Victor, Tomas, and Doc all notice almost simultaneously the figure form, familiar as he is, of a particular dwarf jostling his way down the street amidst the crowd. As you look towards him, sighting the carpet salesman making his way through the thickly populated streets.
Oh, God.
He makes his way up the way with a sack of goods over his shoulder as he seems to be whistling a tune. As he happens upon you, he doesn't seem to notice you, simply saying, "Pardon me," as Brixton makes his way past.
Brixton.
He looks over towards you. "Ah, yes. There you are, then."
I thought Brixton was human.
Brixton's a dwarf. He gets bumped into the back by somebody passing by and says, "Hey, watch yourself, then. Come on. Dignity. Manners, huh?" He comes waddling towards you, looking up towards the lot of you, looking at the mountain of muscle, and he gives a nod. He looks over towards the elf and gives a nod. "Good to see you all again." He looks towards Doc. "And you?" He kinda, "Buddy?"
So I thought, so you guys are stationed in Arabelle? I thought you guys were stopping here, then going on your way. I didn't know you were.
Who can resist the wonders that this city has to offer? My goodness. A little bit of coin brings you all sorts of entertainments the night. You simply have to know where to look. God knows Bartholomew knows where to look. Oh, my. Ugh. By Mordin's hammer, there is nothing that can crush that man. Short of Mordin's hammer, there's nothing that will crush that man's ability to imbibe and intoxicate and the debauchery that he sees in any event. I digress. I say too much. My apologies. I've been up late myself, conducting all sorts of affairs. And how are you? How have you all been?
Perfectly fine.
He gets bumped again. Oi! As people make their way around you.
Do you want to head to where you're going, and then we can talk over there instead of in this busy street?
By all means. I was, as a matter of fact, headed towards a tavern I'd heard is quite good. Bent Bow, as a matter of fact. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I was headed there for lunch.
Okay, sure. Sounds great. Tomas is like, oh god. Okay. Well, we can scope it. I'll just shake it off and say, do you want to
put your stuff away before you go there, or just bring it with you? It's fine.
He looks at the he looks at you for a moment, and as you regard the sacks that he's got, is no, it can come with me for now. If I'm not mistaken, the bank is on the way.
The bank. There's a bank here.
There is, in fact.
Oh.
As the scene crossfades and the credits begin to roll, there's a short silent montage of you guys, sure enough, coming upon a small, secure stone structure with a few guards situated outside, 3 of them well unarmed, one of them with a tower shield, one with a great sword, and one with a halberd. As you guys approach upon, they look towards you stoically, and Brixton enters into the place, coming out a couple moments later with a much smaller pouch that he ties to his belt and a satisfied look on his face as he continues.
Does the bank have an insignia at all?
Yeah, sorry. It is I have the name here. The Mizram family's. It says Mizram Investments and credit. Mizram Investments and credit. There we go. Or Mizram MIC, I guess is what it should be known as. So that's the bank, is MIC. Mizram Investments credit. As I said, he goes in, he comes out a moment later, a much smaller sack and a satisfied look on his face. At which point you guys continue the trek heading towards the Bent Bow Tavern. And now the Bent Bow, that was where you guys were supposed to go to speak to whom?
I don't know.
We weren't supposed to speak to anyone. It was just
yeah, we're supposed to just go
Laramis's-
to we're supposed to just go to the dock. Arrive at the river dockside when the rain finally subsides.
Right,
No,
what?
the bent bow was initially where you were supposed to make contact with somebody if you were looking to make contact with that.
Yeah,
or...
yeah. Benbow was where we were supposed to, where Laramis was supposed to make contact if you wanted to make contact.
That's right.
So we can scope it out, see what's up.
Although at this point you've already made contact, it seems.
Yeah, but we can see if we can find any more higher ups. I don't know.
Right on.
Yeah.
There is a lot here.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
In an after credit scene, you guys are situated at the Bent Bow on the patio. Burgess is inside doing shots with a couple other cohorts. Across the way, there's a fella on a soapbox, you might say. It's more of a podium, but he's shouting out about his candidacy to the role of the Lady's High Hand, and that Hilor is the family you trust. We bring the clothes that warm you, we bring the food that fills you, and hereupon I wish to bring the spirit that heals you. The Lady Demora requires a careful hand, a calculated and well-prioritized hand for our people, you people, our city, and our people. You people.
You people.
Hey? Yeah. And the people start to like, we people, you people, he says. We people? Who people? And people are like, we people! And then it starts breaking into a weird sort of rhythmic, cheesy, cringy rap song like the 1990s used to present us with for no good reason. And that's scene. Sean, would you like Wizard Part was released?
No, it was good. I think I was just spending a lot catching up and figuring things that I wanted to do. I do want to start figuring out how to use the poisoner's kit and start to fill in a couple things to have that in the hip pocket for whenever we want to do something.
That's fair enough. If you guys do take any downtime where, like a short rest, you can identify a magic item with a short rest, so it would make sense that you can learn how to use your poisoner's kit with a short rest.
All right. And then the question did come up about the forger's kit. Now, whether or not you're proficient would just make you faster at it, but it's not like I couldn't.
Well,
learn at it.
no, yeah, you can use a forger's kit. It's just like you can't like if you're not proficient in it, you can't add the +2. So like if he made you roll to do it, you would have to just do like intelligence only.
Got it.
To make like a 40.
But no, yeah, I think it was good. I mean, there's obviously a lot of filling in right now. I miss the Bears, so I'm let down that I miss the Bears. But I'm going to be interested to see what happens when the rain breaks and whether or not we're guarding a shipment of rugs or guarding the mythical pile of platinum that obviously I now need because I'm spending money like a sailor on shore.
Hey, you're 15 AC now.
Yes, I am.
It's pretty wicked. Right on. Oh my god, gapping out on names here. Sorry, man.
Then I'll go next. Yeah, I'll just say yeah. The story's really good. I'm trying to figure out the inner workings. It's really fun trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and it's fun to be in see it's just so big, this city, and so much to do. So it's like you don't know where to go. It's like we're trying to find our grounding. Like we arrived and we really don't know what this town is about, and we don't know who to talk to.
It's true.
And then I'm kind of glad that I sent Rothric. I realized that I was gonna kill Rothric if he was there while the Iron Throne comes in. That would have been real bad. So that's good. Yeah. I guess the one gripe is it's just I feel bad to make this decision for the party, and I want you guys to have input, to make decisions. So that's the only thing.
Fair enough. Sammy, what'd you like? What was your released?
Once again, love the story. Having a great time playing with y'all. The only thing that kind of sucked is I just had a killer headache, so I really wasn't in a big RP moments,
Oh, fair enough. Sorry to hear that.
Really enjoyed the session. Oh no, it's whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself. It was good.
Fair enough. Ricky, what'd you like? What'd you hate? Was your part released?
Not so. I come from a different game called Shadowrun, and there's something called legwork that needs to happen before the major heist kind of happens. And I find that maybe it's because I don't have a lot of backstory, but I'm not able to get involved in the legwork, so I'm kind of just having to take a passive role, and I'm okay with that. Just not sure how we can move forward. So in the bar, for instance, where you were trying to not lead us, or push us down kind of an avenue. It was a little bit. There was just no clear direction of where to go.
Yeah.
And no way for us to leverage whether it was a skill or RP. There was no clear thread in order to follow.
No, there isn't.
So I didn't hate it, but I'm just kind of taking a passive role, waiting to see where.
But you guys knew that you were to leave message at the Nine Fires.
Yeah,
if you wanted to contact.
That little thing was were we gonna do it at the Bent Bow or are we gonna do it at the Nine Fires? Those are two different options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do it at the Nine Fires, that means you're doing it as work job, our roles are the thugs roles. If you did it at the Bent Bow, it's Laramis sent us to do it. You know what I mean? So it's two different avenues. You know what I mean? It's two different roles that you get to play. That's why that was the decision that I wanted us to make as a group. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like it's too like that was the in between.
Fair enough.
And and it's just a matter of circumstance.
Mhm.
So, yeah, sometimes it just flows so effortlessly, but this time it wasn't as effortless. And that's
fair.
just a matter of just getting through it.
It's it can be tough muddling through a fresh environment as well, because it's all new connections and you don't have a lot of leads to go on.
And backstory, right? Like so Tomas has like this backstory that we don't know yet, and he's able to leverage kind of some context. So I think
it's all made up on the
information that
fly,
he
eh?
has.
It's all made up on the fly. It literally is. There's no prior discussion or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's really
I have a backstory for Tom. Like I wrote up a backstory,
which is fine. But what I'm saying is that I'm not necessarily privy to that and your intentions of it, but I permiss it on the basis that D&D on the whole is very much a game of yes and.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. So maybe we just need to kind of leverage that more and give you more to work with.
Yeah, there's no honestly you can do whatever. It's there's no wrong decision. Any decision, the decision you make is the decision you make. If we end up in jail, we end up in jail. It literally is. And then if we get TBK, we get TBK. We make new characters.
Justin, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What was your part released?
Pretty good. It was a little bit slower. There was no combat this time, which is probably why everybody felt like it was so slow.
Thank you.
I liked the. I still liked it. It was so good. There was a lot of information, mostly on this one.
Yeah, it ended up being a big hey, here's a whole shit ton of story.
We came into a huge town, and we kind of followed the lead, and this is the end of the lead. And it's okay, where do we pick up next? And it's nobody's fault. That's just where we are in the story.
Mm-hmm. But as Brixton said, let's go to the bent bow, and so we'll see where that goes. Sorry, what were you saying, Tim?
I say, when the rain stops, then we get to we're on pause right now because of the rain.
Yeah, the rain too has been hindering us.
Yeah.
But so it goes, and next session we will continue the story on and discover where the next lead comes from and where that's going to go, or leads for that matter. Roderick has to come back from Deacon. He'll have something to say or do, as well as whomever knows that you're in town with Roderick. So who's to say that the lead won't come and find you?
Yeah.
But as the scene closes out and you guys continue watching the fellow in the soapbox, you watch as in the distance a few from down the road, a couple guardsmen come towards, and they start asking for people to disperse. At which point, Yolmar, the fellow off the soapbox, gets down, gives a nod. Thank you all for coming out. He yells out to everybody, and it cuts to black. Everybody takes we'll say 400 experience for the session. And if you like what you see, we stream every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 p.m. until whenever we finish. And until next time, it has been my pleasure to be your entertainer, your dungeon master, with my fantastic palette of personalities that is my plethora of players. May your 20s always land on 20. Thank you very much, everybody, especially my players, for playing. You guys are awesome. I'm so happy with how the story is going. And I swear to God, there will be combat next session. I promise you. It'll be all fucking combat. Just, from start to finish.
Ambushed.
Yeah.
Bowser comes ripping through.
Great.
Yeah. Well,
I love the complexity.
Combat in a city, in a big city like this, is really hard to do too. So it's
War.
War,
right?
I just see Rez walking around town just petting his little cask of black powder, soon. Between him and Victor talking to his axe.
It is
the black powder.
My scrolls are following
the shipment.
Yeah.
So there might be
Yeah.
like platinum pieces spread through the whole countryside, but that's my plan.
I'm gonna be describing this mushroom cloud of platinum from the distance.
Exactly.
Lord
That's
knows.
what I'm kind of thinking. I might wind up vaporizing it, but like I'm getting into that freaking safe, or like that what do you call it? The strong
box.
wagon. Yeah, the wagon. So it's in a wagon, right? So we're gonna have to like blow the wagon up or blow into the wagon. So that's my goal anyway.
Oh yeah, I've got to do this. There we go.
Oh crap.
Unga bunga. There, done.
So, well, and I do want to thank all you guys for last week for being patient for the fact that I had to dodge out, so I appreciate it.
It's all good, man.
Dooley just basically ran us around in a kind of circle, and not a lot happened, but it was just kind of fun anyway.
You guys got shit done is really what it came down to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a bunch of errands. Which sometimes you need. You need to get shit done, you know? And, I mean, as a character, shit stacks up. So
What was with the spirit? What, like I completely missed that one. That was kind of like you saw this thing, you're like, fuck off. I'm just gonna walk away from it, kind of thing, or
sorry, I missed what you meant.
the spirit between like they said on the way from.
Yeah, so there was a spirit that they came upon in the roadway, and they just took a wide berth, walked around it, and kept going.
So what it was is when we left, what was it, Denluck?
Yeah.
We were rushing. We didn't stop in Evening Star. We rushed through. We rode our horses. We got to Evening Star. We sold them, bought new horses. And then we were told the road that takes us out of town to Arabelle has some spectral being there blocking the path.
Out of
And so
Evening
we
Star,
just
yeah.
kind of went around it and then ran into bears.
We didn't get nearly enough props for that. I thought one that was like really inventive and smart, and I thought there was kind of like this urgency to get there in time. So we're trying as hard as we can, and Dooley's like, Sean's not here. You're not doing crap without Sean.
Yeah.
Like we were doing everything to get there on time, and like there was some brilliant stuff. But Sean's like, or sorry, Dooley was like, yeah, you're a host without Sean, I'm not going to do that to him. So,
Well, I apologize, guys, but I do appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging back for it.
There was a lot of stuff that needed to get done, though.
Yeah.
You guys had a lot of stuff to buy and sell and search about for and faff with, and you can make shit drag out. Players have their hand in that too.
It was good. It was also good to like go back for me that I've been trying to read up again and having not played in a while, but also having not played a rogue in a long time. Trying to remember, like, all right, what are the important things to get? How do I help myself out, put myself in a position to contribute to the group and do the fun things that we want to do? Like realizing I didn't have a 4-year kit.
For sure, for sure.
I gave away way too much money in different segments, and I'm finding that gear-wise, I'm kind of hosed.
What?
I do kind of have like a magic ace, 4 magic ace in the holes.
Okay.
One, I made a bag of holding because that's one of the perks that you can get as an artificer.
Right.
2, I have like this endless shooting crossbow of +1, which is kind of cool. And then I have 2 more items that I can make, and so I'm thinking like a rope of climbing, and yeah, I'm not sure what the other one's going to be.
Now, is that just part of being an artificer? Is that like when you hit a certain level, then you can make for?
Yeah. So
I
instead
think
of
he
like
levels against
getting
more.
new abilities and really cool stuff, I can make some stuff to kind of, fill out my toolkit.
Huh.
That's cool. Yeah, it is actually really cool. Yeah. I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to get something to eat. My stomach seems to have decided to digest my spine, and that's not, a good thing.
You're
So,
getting hangry.
I thank you all for another fantastic session, and until next time.
Yep, see you guys.
Bye,
Later,
guys. Thank
20s
you.
land to 20. Later, guys.